proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Yes, welcome to East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of the New York Giants and host venue for the final coming up on July 20, Australian time, and it plays host to the glamour round of 16 tie between Brazil and Norway. The winner of this one will face the winner of Mexico v England later today at the Azteca, and that'll be another glamour quarterfinal between the two winners of these ties today. Norway have never lost to Brazil. It's a staggering stat, and they've played 4 times, 2 wins and 2 draws for Norway, including a World Cup win back in 1998 in the group stage. Mind you, Brazil played their second 11 that day. It isn't the case today. Brazil go with their first choice lineup, of course, including a front 4 of Vinicius Jr., Mateus Cunha, Gabriel Martinelli and Ryan. Guimaraes and Casemiro in midfield behind. Douglas Santos is the left back. Gabriel Marquinhos in the heart of defence. Danilo is the right back. And Liverpool's Alisson Becker is the shot stopper. Norway, they go with a very exciting lineup as well. Of course, they were able to rest, or they chose to rest, their first choice players against France in the third and final group game. They lost 4-1. They let France top the group. France are through to the quarterfinals, of course, after their win yesterday. But they did their damage. 4-1 over Iraq, 3-2 against Senegal, and then 2-1 against the Ivory Coast in the round of 32, with Erling Haaland scoring the winner in the 86th minute. And Haaland starts up top with Alex Sørloth and Antonio Nusa. In behind, Patrick Berg and Sander Berger. Martin Ødegaard wears the 10 and pulls the strings in the number 10 role. And the back 4, David Müller-Wolfer, Torbjørn Hegem, Christopher Ayer and Julian Reasson. Neerland is in goal. The 35-year-old earns his 75th cap today. So the boys of Brazil are here, the most successful country in World Cup history, lifting the trophy 5 times in 1958, 62 and 70 with Pelé, 1994 in the United States, and then the crowning glory for the original Ronaldo in 2002 in Japan and South Korea. They are coached by Carlo Ancelotti, the 67-year-old Italian who took the reins last year, was assistant coach with Italy way back in 1994 when they finished as runners-up in the tournament behind Brazil. He's won league titles in all 5 top leagues. Can he guide Brazil to the promised land again? So much Canary yellow when you look around this stadium with a capacity of 82,500, and there are pockets of red for Norway, who play in this World Cup after missing qualification for 12 consecutive major tournaments. And it's great to see them on the international stage again. Will the Viking row be conducted at the end of the 90 minutes against the boys from Brazil today? Martin Ødegaard leading his team out of the, or towards the tunnel here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of the New York Giants, of course. And we're not too far away from getting the teams out there and the national anthems to unfold. Our expert commentator, thanks to Chemist Warehouse, Mark Bosnich, will be along very soon. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. What a scene it is, Paul.
This is what football is all about, Speedy. You've got 2 nations, one looking to make history for the very first time by progressing through to the quarterfinals of a World Cup in Norway and potentially even go on and win it. It would not surprise anyone if they continue their deep run, given Erling Haaland's imperious goal-scoring form. But it's met with an incredible Brazilian front 4, let's call it, shall we? Ryan Martinelli, Vinicius and Mateus Cunha. They are some of the best attackers in the world, but Erling Haaland, he might very well be the best attacker in the world. His goal-scoring form has been sensational, not just at club level, but at league level. And in this World Cup, he's been one of the sole reasons Norway have been able to progress out of the group stage and look so ominous when they do go forward. Who do we expect to be on the ball in this contest? I think it'll be a split of possession because both midfields, you would say, Norway are very, very strong technically. Martin Odegaard loves to touch the ball, loves to fly the ball around. He loves to play the ground ball. He's very, very creative, and he will like to dictate and control the press that Norway try to impose on Brazil. But Brazil have got their own physical midfield and ball players, Guimarães and Casemiro, at the base of what we're looking at being a front four, and their physicality and dual winning ability is going to be such a competitive edge in this particular match. They probably have the physical edge, I think, Brazil in midfield with those two players. They might not be huge in stature, at least when it comes to height, but their physicality and their brute around those duels is going to be very, very important in this clash, I'd have thought. And then it's probably the battle that everybody's looking forward to. We've seen it in the Premier League for a handful of seasons now, but Erling Haaland, Gabriel, and Speedy, you mentioned it before we headed out to the stadium, that the referee might have a bit of a task on his hands because you can't pull the jerseys in at this World Cup. They don't let you, or they don't have that leeway like they do in the Premier League. So we might see a couple of yellow cards handed out in this particular fixture.
An absolutely beautiful moment in the tunnel a moment ago. Of course, the mascots are walking out with all of the players, and Erling Haaland just talked to three of the mascots, gave them a hug as well. And one of the kids was just blown away by that. Next minute, Vinicius Jr. comes over and also gives one of those mascots a hug. And the look on his face was just like, wow, this is just incredible, being up close and personal with the superstars. So chances are that little engagement between the mascot and those two superstars will be going viral as we speak on social media. And great that they could take time out before this amazing fixture to make the day of these young kids. As the players are now lining up in the centre of this venue, capacity more than 80,000 that is packed to the rafters, and we're not too far away from the national anthems of both countries that we sung with such pride. Of course, we do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We are 7.5 minutes away from kickoff. But before that, of course, the formalities of the national anthems of Brazil and Norway before this round of 16 encounter.
The national anthem of Brazil.
So the fireworks go off, colour coordinated as you'd expect for Norway and Brazil. Not too far away from kickoff here. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Front fours for both teams. If you're just tuning in, Brazil going with Vinicius Jr., Mateus Cunha, Gabriel Martinelli and Ryan up top. Guimarães and Casemiro in midfield. Douglas Santos, Gabriel, Marquinhos, the captain, and Danilo make up the back four. Alisson Becker is the goalkeeper. For Norway, Antonio Nusa, Alexander Sørloth and Erling Haaland up top. The midfield trio of Martin Ødegaard, the captain, Patrick Berg and Sander Berger. Then the back four of David Müller-Wülfer, Torbjørn Hegem, Christopher Ayer and Julian Reierson of Borussia Dortmund. And their goalkeeper is Nielsen. Ståle Solbakken is their coach, and he's pitting wits against the Italian Carlo Ancelotti, who I can report was singing the national anthem of Brazil with wonderful passion just moments ago. Can Brazil beat Norway for the first time in 5 attempts? I touched on this yesterday. It is fantastic that FIFA has ensured that if there's no clash, then both teams wear their preferred home kits. So you've got Brazil in the gold shirts and the blue shorts, and you've got Norway in the red shirts here today. The referee is the Moroccan-born American citizen, referee in the MLS for the past 14 years, Ismail Elfath, vastly experienced. And the VAR centre ready to run the rule over this. Tatiana Guzman of Nicaragua has the key appointment in the VAR room. This place is packed to the rafters, 80,000 plus, and Brazil dominating in terms of crowd support, as you see at each and every major tournament they are involved in. There'll be parties on the streets all around the world as they hope Brazil can get to the business end of this tournament, but still so much work to do after they came from behind in the round of 32 to knock out Japan 2-1 in regulation, courtesy of a late winner from super sub Gabriel Martinelli, who starts today, the Arsenal man, in behind the Manchester United striker, Mateus Cunha. Norway, well, they basically said, we don't care if we top the group. They let France win 4-1 in their final group game, playing their second 11. They were happy to go the other route, and that was against Ivory Coast in the round of 32. Nusa scored a wonder goal. Look for him cutting in on the left, and Erling Haaland was able to come up with an 86th minute winner. So both with dramatic late winners in the previous round. What do we have in store today with these two very attacking lineups? Are we going to see goals in the heat of New Jersey, East Rutherford, the host venue of the World Cup final? Will one of these teams be there when the trophy is handed out on July 20, Australian time? You'll hear it all on SEN, of course. Your host broadcaster of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. For Valvoline, the original engine oil. The fans are standing here, expectant of a glorious start and total football to be played here in the northeast of the United States. Big game at the Azteca coming up later between Mexico and England, but all eyes now on Norway against Brazil. And it will be the European side to kick things off in New Jersey. Away we go on SEN as the goalkeeper thrusts it forward for Norway immediately towards Sørloth and Haaland. And no touch from any outfield players as it goes out for a goal kick. And Norway can try and set up, and Brazil look like they're ready to go short from Alisson Becker. Listen to the buzz as the goal kick is going to be taken by an outfield player who rolls it back to Alisson Becker. And Erling Haaland a little too keen to jump the gun. So we take two on the goal kick he'd entered the 18-yard box a little too early. And now we go again, and it's rolled back to Allison, who's playing a bit of cat and mouse before he just launches long straight up the middle. And Norway can let this one roll, and so far it's keeper to keeper. Interesting start. Cagey stuff, you'd suggest, in the opening minute. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So Neelan launches long, and it's straight out of play off Surlot on the right-hand side, near halfway. So Brazil take the throw quickly and go back to their keeper, Alison Becker. The press coming from Ødegaard and Haaland, trying to create a turnover in the attacking third. Pressure on Danilo, who rolls one down the line, and Norway did turn it over briefly. Last touch off Danilo, out of play for an attacking throw for Norway. So Norway get the first spell of possession, and it's back inside their own half, and they set up formation-wise with the back four, and Ødegaard taking it deep in midfield, going wide to Rayasan. Surlot, they exchange passes. Ødegaard under pressure from Cunha, who really presses in on Rayasan as well. Last touch off him, and that intent is applauded by the Brazilian fans as we welcome our expert commentator, Mark Bosnich.
Good morning to you, Brenton, and good morning to all the listeners all over Australia, all around the world where they may be. It might not be morning there. And here we go, right into the round of 16 between one of the favourites in Brazil and another team in Norway who have been unbeaten against Brazil in their 4 games in their history.
And they're in behind here. Surlot played through by Ødegaard, cuts it back, big chance, and it's in for Norway, but the offside flag goes up. And Patrick Berg is denied for now. He celebrates with Melawerfa, but he looked offside. Just a slight delay in the pass from Ødegaard to Surlot, and we wait for the replay to confirm it all, as Surlot is just in advance of the back four of Brazil. But it shows their intent with that speed and youthfulness to really test Brazil here. What a warning shot across the bows in the opening minutes from Norway.
Well, it is. No shortness of excitement when you and I are commentating, Speedy, are there? Oh, sorry, is there? Yeah, that wonderful game between Argentina and Cape Verde. And now we had this explosive start by Norway and only ruled out for offside. Big warning for Brazil. Like I said, Norway and Norwegians love to bring up this point. 4 games they've played, 3 friendlies and 1 competitive fixture in the 1998 World Cup. And Norway has yet to be beaten by Brazil.
That's an unbelievable stat as Haaland cushions it down for that man Berg, who had the ball in the back of the net, but the celebrations were only brief as the early goal was chalked off. And Ødegaard could have played it earlier, and Surlot would have been onside. So just a really fine margin involved, denying Norway the early opener. Here's Ødegaard again, finding the feet of Surlot this time, who's onside. He goes back to Rayasan, just inside his own half, the right back, who plays his club football with Borussia Dortmund. And now they rotate it around at the back. Ayer and Hegem getting some touches. Melawerfa of Wolves. That's a nice recruitment drive by Wolverhampton, recruiting Melawerfa, the Norwegian, to play for them, as Neelan sprays a diagonal out to Surlot, who towers over his direct opponent, and he takes on Douglas Santos. And Surlot able to recycle. Norway have it in the attacking third. Ødegaard to pull the strings on his left boot, almost using his teammate as a shield to square it up to Melawerfa. And now Nusa, dangerous customer, scored a spectacular goal against the opposition in the round of 32. And now on the right for Surlot, who wins an early corner here off that man Douglas Santos.
Very good start from Norway. And we just spoke about the statistical record. You can tell why. From a physical point of view, they can match the Brazilians, and in some cases even be a bit better. And right now, at this moment in time, they're on the front foot. They've had a goal disallowed, and they're really putting Brazil to the sword.
Well, Gabriel, the only back four member under the age of 32. So Norway, with their youthfulness, might be able to test them as Haaland is being held onto here. How does the ref see that? As the corner is whipped in, and before they do that, it's going to be take two, and the ref wants a word with the Brazilian defenders and the Norwegian attackers on this grappling going on. My eyes are on you, Ryan, he says.
That's a warning shot.
And this is what we need in football, not just on the world stage, but also in the Premier League going forward. Stop the grappling, stop the nonsense, and let's see more potential from set pieces. In swinging, corner delivery, left footer from the right-hand side towards the penalty spot, and it's off a Brazilian head and cleared upfield. Nusa should be able to drag this one down out of the sky. He elects to head it back across the face of goal. And Brazil have it now. Potential counter-attack. It's nice work from Martinelli. And Vinicius Jr. couldn't keep the spell of possession alive, and Norway have it back again. 6.5 minutes in, it remains goalless for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Once again, Norway causing problems physically at that corner. You saw the nervousness of all the Brazilian players and the goalkeeper. Not easy when you're playing against a physical side and one that's very competent in the air. They're nervous moments for defenders and goalkeepers.
Mela Wolf with a vertical pass to Nusa. Nice turn away from the right back, but Brazil able to break it up in midfield, and Rayan with an elbow leading into Mela Wolf, won the header but couldn't find Vinicius Jr. So Norway able to tidy up at the back, and a pass putting his teammate under the pump there. Good luck, Rayasan, who received the pass from Aya straight out of play for a Brazil throw in the attacking half. And they're just looking for a spell of possession after Norway have dominated in that category early on. So they go back to Marquinhos, who sprays it early to Rayan. Goes back to the right back, Danilo. Oh, Flamengo, the Brazilian powerhouse. Now Martinelli dropping really deep to combine with Casemiro. An Arsenal man to the Man U midfielder. And now Casemiro looks forward. Flicked wide by Mateus Cunha, who gets it back here from Rayan. Sets it up top of the box for Martinelli, who was trying to tease one to the back post. Norwegian bodies in the road. Still in the attacking third here for Brazil. And Guimaraes on the ball. And he looks wide. He sweeps it wide to Vinicius Jr. And he showed too much of it to Rayasan, who lost his feet, and Vinicius Jr. is able to turn away from him. Lovely skill, gets to the byline and just ran out of room. Out for the goal kick, but a promising moment for Brazil.
Very much so. And you mentioned the fact, lovely skill. This is what changes games. The players at this level with the ability to take on and go around the player. Especially with organised packed defences as Carlo Ancelotti.
Searching. A clearance by the goalkeeper, found the head of Surlot. Erdegaard complaining he should have had a free kick, but it's Brazil ball as they look to release Vinicius Jr. And across came Aya and headed it down to the advantage of Berger. And now Norway in possession right in the centre circle. Sander Berger able to advance and drops it off to Patrick Berg of Bodo Glimt, who had the ball in the back of the net inside the opening 3 minutes, but it was ruled out for offside against Alex Surlot. So nearly 10 minutes played. It remains goalless here in New Jersey. And a little bit of keepings off from Norway as Erdegaard gets on the ball. Goes to Hegem. Nusa trying to roll his man. Lost out to Rayan, who's passed another Norwegian opponent, left him in his wake. And Brazil right through the middle here. Opportunity for Martinelli. And penalty won by Brazil, perhaps. Referee waves off the appeal. It'll be up to VAR as a goal kick has been awarded. And they are furious. Mateus Cunha says that's a penalty. And VAR will sort this one out, Bozza.
It will do, but first instinct, I don't know about you, Speedy, but I thought penalty.
It's an absolute penalty. VAR will come to the rescue again. Thank goodness for VAR.
Well, they better do the right decision, put it that way.
Oh, there is a feathery touch by the Norwegian defender on the other angle, though, Bozza. Is that enough?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, that's not enough. That's not enough. It's got to be a penalty.
Even if there's a touch.
Oh, yep. Even if there's a touch.
The touch came before the contact on the Brazilian attacker.
Yeah, not enough. Absolutely not enough. It's a blatant penalty. What was your first thought, Speedy? I want to ask you that.
It looked like a penalty, but then when you see a defender gets a touch, I think it's hard to go against a defender who actually kicks it out for a goal kick. A corner, rather. But it was actually given a goal kick. So the referee has said he got no ball, but it wasn't a penalty. But VAR...
It's got to be.
He's calling him over. So this is a good sign for Brazil. What's your feel now, Bozza?
Penalty, like it was at the start. It's not enough of a touch.
So they're freeze framing initially on the leg of Aya, wiping out Cunha, and they're not even showing that he gets a touch to it afterwards.
No.
So it's going to be a spot kick here for Brazil.
It's blatant penalty for me. Stonewall.
Here's the announcement.
After review, attacking defender number 3 committed tripping foul. Final decision.
Ismail El Fath, thanks to the VAR work of the Nicaraguan in the VAR centre, has awarded the spot kick, and it's party time for Brazil, but you've still got to beat the keeper now, Bozza.
100,000,000%.
No real complaints from Aya, who's the guilty party at the back, the Brentford man. And it was a clean win by Rayan that sent Brazil forward as well.
Nowhere near the ball.
Even though he touched it.
I don't know if he did, Speedy.
He absolutely did, but it's a feathery touch.
Yeah,
so they're protecting the penalty taker here, who will be Vinicius Jr., it appears. Martinelli is playing bodyguard for him. Guimaraes and Marquinhos in the vicinity, but it's Vinicius Jr. with the ball in his hand, and Nealan is about 3 yards away from him. In fact, he's handing it over, Vinicius Jr., to Guimaraes, who's only scored 3 international goals. So it's the Newcastle United midfielder against Nealan in the Norwegian goal. And we have played 13 minutes. It's about 3 minutes after that foul occurred, and finally the spot kick will be taken. Brazilian fans have already counted this one, but it still has to be scored. Guimaraes, stuttering approach, and the keeper saves it. Nealan for Norway is the hero right now. It's a terrible penalty, and you wonder why. Guimaraes takes it, and not one of the 4 attackers.
Great save by the goalkeeper. Nyland went the right way. The 35-year-old. And gives his team a massive boost.
And now he collects the ball after the header went nowhere from Brazil. Penalty takers, Bozza. Who do you want to be putting their hand up to take that spot kick? Vinicius Jr., surely.
Well, whoever's brave enough at the time. Sometimes, that's what I try to say to people, sometimes for whatever reason, unless the manager, which I've never really experienced, unless the manager said you're taking it, but sometimes the person who's designated penalty taker during the game, not so much the shootouts, has, for whatever reason, just a moment of like, I don't feel confident with this, and passes it on. That can sometimes happen. But normally the penalty taker is known before the game. There's Nyland, still happy, wonderful save. 1 foot behind, 1 foot's there on the line. Very good save.
He went to his left, and it was nowhere near the corner. It was a very comfortable save, both hands to it.
Very much so.
And then the celebration was elite as well. Norway keep it goalless after 15 minutes here for Valvoline, the original engine oil.
And Guimaraes, like you said, stays on 3 goals for his country. There's more than enough time to recoup that, but still, in terms of the players, takes a while, as you know, you should be 1-0 up.
You've got Cunha, you've got Vinicius Jr., you've got Martinelli and Ryan up top, and you go with Guimaraes as your penalty taker. Could have gone with Marquinhos as well, all of his experience at the back. Interesting choice from Brazil. Now Ryan, who helps set up the opportunity, dances around his man. He's looking dangerous, the teenager. And the shot towards goal is caught by the Norwegians behind the goal. a long way off the mark, but he's looking really threatening in his 6th international appearance.
Yeah, the Bournemouth man, 19-year-old. Norwegian coach, manager, having a word to Noosa about tracking back to help out his fullback. There's the original Ronaldo. What a player he was.
Yeah, Brazilian legends watching on. Roberto Carlos is here. Rivaldo. Ronaldo. Cafu. So many legends who've lifted the World Cup. 5-time champions, of course, Brazil, including here in the United States in 1994 after a goalless draw against Italy and the famous penalty shootout featuring Roberto Baggio. So Ødegaard picks up the ball on the edge of his own area, links up with Sander Berge, and Norway just enjoying a nice spell of possession here after their coach Sturla Solbakken came to his players and said, here's what we want to do for the next few minutes, settle things down after that save of the spot kick. They go wide to Noosa, who's got some room to move and look forward here. A few little elaborate step overs, and now thinking about a switch of play. He goes via Berge and wider still to Rayasan, and he's going to check back to Aya, who gave away the spot kick. No yellow card for that, just a football challenge. So the penalty sufficient. Now Ødegaard drops the shoulder on Vinicius Jr. and Brazil turn it over. The counter-attack is on. 3-on-3 situation. Martinelli has seen Vinicius Jr. He plays him in, sends him a little bit wide. What can Vinicius Jr. do here? Outside of the boot, just missed Cunha. And Martinelli in the middle. It was a beautiful attempt to tee them up with the outside of the right boot from Vinicius Jr., but Norway got the key touch on it at the back.
Great breakaway there from Brazil. Vinicius just a little bit overhit it with the outside of the boot.
And they win it again. This time Surlot was trying to put the moves on. Taken away by Douglas Santos, who finds Cunha in the centre circle, and he says, let's just settle things down. We don't want it to become an ice hockey game here. End-to-end stuff just yet. 18 minutes played, still goalless here in this round of 16 encounter. Winner of this match between Brazil and Norway takes on the winner of Mexico and England, who kick off at 10 a.m. Australian time at the Azteca.
Huge game, that one. A lot of people, I don't know, I've been speaking to, a really fancy Mexico for that one.
I do as well, on their home deck.
Yeah, there's another one to the list, Speedy.
Home conditions.
Yeah, I think England, I know they've only lost 2 games in 89 years. Well, here we go.
And well
Brazil
shielded. Cunha wanted it to feet, and it was a pass intended to run on for an immediate strike, and Neelam was able to pick it up for Norway. He's a great presence in goal. There's not much experience behind him as the number 2 and 3 for Norway. 75th cap today for the 35-year-old Neelam, who's become a national hero if he wasn't already for that penalty save denying Guimaraes. So Noosa wants it back on the left. Goes back to Berge, just on Norway's side of halfway. Switches it up to Rayasan. Goes wide to Surlot, hugging the right-hand sideline. Of course, Surlot, very much a target man, but plays a different role alongside Erling Haaland in this Norwegian team. Brazil setting up with a 4-4-2 formation defensively. And Ødegaard looking to probe with Rayasan. Brazilian fans a little restless here. They're whistling as Brazil back off and let Norway play some football. Surlot again on the right-hand side. Uses his left foot to go back into his own half for Aya. Surlot again now under a little bit of pressure as Brazil force him all the way back to his own goalkeeper in Neelam. 20 minutes played, 0-0 here, Brazil and Norway.
Quite notable now after Ødegaard started off really running things, getting the ball off the 2 centre-backs in the build-up. Brazil have pushed up a little bit more, specifically to make sure that Ødegaard doesn't start those attacks.
Brazil can't get a touch right now as Norway have it through Ødegaard, who wears the captain's armband for Norway, just as he does in the red of Arsenal. lifted the Premier League trophy just a month or so ago. And now they have possession through Sander Berge, the Fulham man, another London-based player. They go wide to Rayasan, back to Ødegaard, and they've edged their way into the attacking third now, but Brazil are well set up. Going to be tough to find some holes here, and they have another crack. Sørloth on the right, not a whole lot of movement from Haaland in the middle, as they keep it on that right-hand side, and they need to switch it, and they do now. They have to go back into their own half to do so, though. And getting a few touches here is Hegem. Back to Ayer, and now all the way back to the keeper from Berge. So it's a good spell of possession, but not threatening Brazil one little bit.
No, Brazil won't mind this. It's like you said, it's what we call junk possession, if that makes sense.
So what's the idea behind it?
The idea is to tire the opposition, okay, and to draw them out. You see Brazil here in formation. They want to draw them out, to come at them, to get them out of their formation, to move the players around.
Hoping someone misses their assignment. And now they've got it to the left-hand side and work it at close range to Nusa. And a foul by Brazil. Rayan tripped up his man. Melo Wolfer. He stayed down after quite significant contact after he got the pass away to Nusa. No card, but a chance to whip in a free kick potentially for Ødegaard.
It's in a decent position.
Hydration break just around the corner. We've reached the midpoint of the first half, so this will be the final action before the hydration break as Haaland tries to get on the end of things in the middle. Ødegaard having a glance over his shoulder to his coach, saying, what kind of delivery do you want here? And they're standing in an offside position, Haaland and Sander Berge at the moment, so they roll it short. And now Ødegaard goes wide to Nusa, tricky customer in this area. And he's found a way through, edge of the area now. Nusa after the quick feet. Goes back to Rayasan, turns his man, keeps it in the central area, goes wide to Berg. And now Nusa again against one defender, but he turns it over in sloppy fashion. Counter-attack on again here, 2-on-2. Brazil go forward through Matheus Cunha, who's taking on all comers, and he goes down. No penalty this time. Shoulder-to-shoulder stuff, and it allows Nederland to tidy up as Melo Wolfer did the tough defending inside the area. Hard in mouth time for Norway.
Very much so. He really leaned into it, I'll tell you that. Took a chance. But once again, Brazil showing how to basically counter-attack once you win the ball back. And they've got some lightning-quick players. I'm sure we'll see that again.
Yeah, we'll see it when the hydration break begins at the next stoppage. But Norway, again, just cooling things down with some possession play. This time it's Berge dropping back on top of his back four, letting the centre-half split, and he uses Ayer. Martinelli turns around, so there's a pass available to Rayasan down the right. Checks back to Ødegaard, about 40 metres from goal. He goes square to Berg, back to Ayer, and now Ødegaard on his left boot, dragging it away from Martinelli. Almost showed a bit too much of it to Vinicius Jr. But Norway still in possession, edging their way back into Brazilian territory. Nusa on the left. Doesn't take on anyone this time. Goes back to Hegem. And Berger again. Thought about retreating all the way to his goalkeeper. Keeping it away from Matheus Cunha. Still has that option of Nederland, and that's where he heads. Back into the penalty box. Bit anti-football kind of stuff, according to the Brazilian fans. Judging by their reaction as Nederland searches for Sørloth. Ricochets out of play, and that should cue the hydration break. But the referee is going to let things go on. Now he checks his watch afterwards and realises, probably should have blown it there.
American referee, Ismail Ifaf.
Yeah, Moroccan born. He didn't give the spot kick, but VAR helped him out earlier on, and Brazil unable to convert. Guimarães had his spot kick saved by Nielan in goal. If you've joined us late, big moment in this round of 32 encounter as Brazil go forward down the right, and the return ball was a little short from Guimarães, intended for Ryan, and Noosa takes it away. Lovely skill, but poked away by Casemiro in midfield. And now the referee says, let's take that hydration break. 26 minutes in, Brazil 0, Norway 0. As we take a look at the challenge you were querying earlier, Bozza.
Yeah, he was leaning. I tell you what, after you already give away one penalty, it's dangerous. But no penalty that time. First one, definitely, not that one.
So you speak of the penalty decision. Let's listen how we called it on SEN. Brazilian fans have already counted this one, but it still has to be scored. Guimarães, stuttering approach, and the keeper saves it. Nielan for Norway is the hero right now. It's a terrible penalty, and you wonder why. Guimarães takes it, and not one of the 4 attackers. What are your reflections on it now, Bozza?
Great save, exactly what I said. Don't have to reflect. It's kind of like, Leonardo da Vinci when he does a great painting. Don't have to redo it.
It wasn't a great penalty, though. It's not going to go in the Louvre.
No, but it was great commentary by us. There you go. There. I don't know where you see you touched the ball, Speedy, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you got a nick on it, and as you said at the time, even if you get a nick on it and you still wipe out the attacker, it's still a penalty.
100%, yeah. I don't like that stuttering. I don't know about you. I've got to say that. Because if you stutter and the goalkeeper doesn't move, just like Nyland didn't, head goes down then, gives it even more of a chance to the goalkeeper. But what a save. That will go down, if they happen to win today, in Norwegian footballing folklore history. Brazilian fans won't be happy. I know several of them here in Australia. I might text a couple right now saying, is everything okay?
Vinicius Jr. has scored 1 against Morocco, 1 against Haiti, 2 against Scotland. And he was on the pitch, but he doesn't take the penalty. And I feel like he's a guy who could dispatch it wherever you tell him to. Top corner, bottom corner.
Yeah, I think there's a few plays you could put that to. But like I said to you, sometimes beforehand you've got a designated penalty taker. Sometimes manager will just be a bit laissez-faire and say, listen, you guys decide on the pitch who takes the penalty. I would probably say it's the latter with someone like Carlo Ancelotti, although they would have had an idea, because penalty takers normally either the day before, 2 days before the game, wherever they are, just take a couple. Especially with the knockout nature now, I would have thought the whole team would have taken quite a few. But put it this way, if they get another one, I don't think Guimarães will be on that one. It will be interesting to see if it goes to a shootout and Guimarães is still on the park. Will he take one during the shootout? He's got about between 60 and 70% penalty conversion record with open play and penalty shootouts.
So the hydration break just about over. 4th official just holding up the restart of play as Norway are tying up a shoelace or 2. And now we're right to go. Restarting with the throw-in from Danilo, the right back for Brazil, who thrusts it into the middle of the pitch for Casemiro to get things rolling. Scored a wonderful goal in the round of 32 game. Casemiro getting forward as Brazil chased that game against Japan. 1-0 down at halftime. They won 2-1 in regulation, courtesy of that late winner from Martinelli. And here's Casemiro on the edge of the centre circle, spraying a diagonal wide to Ryan in a bit of space. He goes back to Danilo, who hangs it up to the back post for Vinicius Jr., who let it bounce so he could get his first touch with feet. And now he plays it out in front of his teammate who's into the area. Is he offside? Norway make the save anyway. It's still alive in the box. And Norway should be able to clear their lines now as they play it out towards Noosa, who's got 2 Brazilians to beat, goes down, earns the free kick. And the offside flag never came up. It was another great opening for Brazil.
It was. Yeah, he was onside. Great position there for Brazil. Nyland once again with the important interception. Just look at Nyland, Norwegian goalkeeper. If he doesn't put his leg out here, that goes straight. That's a tap in then.
For Guimarães, who was waiting for the cutback from Martinelli. who curved his run beautifully to stay onside. So Norway leading a charmed life at the back right now after half an hour. It remains goalless in this round of 16 encounter in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as Nealon goes forward to Haaland in a wrestle. Referee happy with that wrestle. Play on as Alisson Becker came out of his area and saw off the danger with Haaland bearing down on him. And it goes back to Becker, who clears his lines. And this time it's a shank into the second row, which is not easy to do. And there's superstars everywhere you look in the stands. The glitterati of New York, New Jersey in the house, including Jay-Z, Bozza.
Yeah.
Surprised you're not in the seat next to Jay-Z.
I was going to sing one of his songs, but I don't think it's appropriate this time of the morning. Anyway, back to the football.
Norway have possession. Mela Wolf exploring. And a little toe poke intended for Ødegaard goes straight to Brazil, who think about the quick counter-attack. There's space here, but cut out by Berg in midfield. Lets it run to Nusa, who checks back in and finds Berger, who rolls it to the feet of Ødegaard. And a bit more urgency about this ball movement from Norway. Can they get it into the box for Haaland, who waits on the edge of the area? Ødegaard checks back out to Sørloth on the right, who shields it away from the left back, Douglas Santos. Ødegaard squares it up to Berger. Nusa's in space on the left. They find him. Chance to run it. The right back, Danilo, who gets support late from Guimarães, who takes it away from Nusa. And Brazil now look to launch again. Lovely play here. And a clever touch by Vinicius Jr. Puts it out in front of Danilo. Doesn't have a whole lot to go to, so he checks back to Vinicius Jr., who can run at the defence. And he pokes it away, but it's going to run away for a goal kick. He was taking on about 5 Norwegian defenders, Vinicius Jr., but he's capable.
Yeah, he is. And the match has settled into a quite familiar pattern. Brazil happy to allow Norway having possession in non-dangerous areas, sitting back, trying to control the game from a defensive perspective. Then as soon as they win it, wow, it's like who's going to sprint the fastest? They're at them. They're at Norway like you wouldn't believe.
So many in the crowd are standing here. Capacity 80,000 plus. And they are gripped by the tussle here between Norway and Brazil. Still goalless as the searching ball from Nealon brings his opposite number, Alisson Becker, out of his box again to clear with Haaland in the vicinity. Tidied up in midfield here by Martinelli, who scoots away from Berg and works it wide to the right for Danilo. He wants it back here, Martinelli. Long way from home. Different role for him today than we see him play at club level, as he links with Casemiro in midfield. And he sprays a diagonal that makes it tough on Douglas Santos, who could only head it in the air, and Sørloth took it away. And he gets a chance to link up with Haaland. Nice little move by Erling Haaland. Takes on 2 Brazilian defenders, works it back to Sørloth. One more pass and they're away here, but he went the wrong way, Sørloth. He tried to go to Nusa when he had a right winger in all kinds of space. As a result, Brazil going out the other way. And Vinicius Jr. checks inside to Guimarães. He can go wide to Rayan. Pretty central here. Plays it into Vinicius Jr. Shot on the turn is blocked by Norway. And great defensive work there from the Norwegians, but it might be coming back as the clearance is only as far as Danilo, who drops it off to Casemiro about 30 metres from goal in a central area. Goes wide to the right for Rayan, the left footer. He goes back to Danilo, the right back. Back to Rayan on the edge of the area. Rolls one into Guimarães. Again, Norwegian bodies in the road, blocking those passing lanes. It rebounds back to Rayan. Danilo can square it up. Who's that pass to? Casemiro. Wasn't helped by the pass, so Norway able to launch a counter-attack of their own. Sørloth goes wide to the right to Ødegaard. There's space here, and he found Nusa. He looks for Erling Haaland. Instead, he goes back towards Ødegaard, who keeps it alive. The back heel is on. He doesn't go to Sørloth. He looks for another option onto his left boot and nearly snuck it in at the near post side netting from Martin Ødegaard as Norway get a shot away.
And Norway showing that they're not too disfamiliar with it, counter-attacking themselves. They had 5 and 5, and they got that man Nusa from RB Leipzig on the left wing. He is a danger, a real danger. Every time he gets the ball, he senses danger, and so did the Brazilians. Perhaps not as devastating as the Brazilians on the counter-attack, but they've still got to be careful nonetheless. Well done, Norway, as well, showing that, you know, if you want to do it to us, we'll do it to you. I told you the other day with the Cape Verde game, this is why they say, well, you've got to keep providing a threat to the opposition. So they just don't sort of say, well, you know what, we only have to attack here.
Well won by Noosa, as Brazil were a little sloppy coming out. So Surlot has possession on the right, drops it off to Rayasan, and they can go forward again here. Erdegaard was about a metre away, trying to surprise Alison Becker at his near post a minute ago, as they go back to Surlot on the right, and the ball ricochets back to Rayasan, and they can build again by Hagem in the centre circle. Drops it off to Berger, and back to Hagem. Dropping deep here is Erdegaard to make things tick, and now they've got it to Noosa on the left-hand side again. Cuts onto his right boot, teases one in. Haaland! Oh, brilliant idea. He tried to loop it over Alison Becker, didn't quite get enough on it, and the Brazilian goalkeeper was able to pluck it out of the sky pretty comfortably.
Yeah, Noosa once again cutting in. Wonderful idea by Haaland. Had a quick look up. Saw Alison Becker just marginally off his line. Just went to flick it over the top of him. Didn't quite get enough on it. But once again, Noosa creating so many problems down the left.
Would have been a Burkamp finish.
They're going to have to plug that gap with Noosa down here, Brazil. He'd be a worry if I was Carlo Ancelotti. I'd be explaining to the players at half-time, when he gets the ball, you've got to be very careful.
Now Brazil looking forward. But Möller-Wolfer gets the header upfield, and Berger was caught by the high boot, according to Norway, and the referee saw it that way, was trying to play advantage, but brings it back for the nibble on Berger, Norway's number 8. It was Martinelli with the high boot, catching Berger on the toes. Still goalless here. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And we're in the 38th minute, with about 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played at the end of the 45, courtesy of the hydration break, as Surlot has a chance to run at Brazil's defence down that right-hand side. And can't get a meaningful ball in, as it's blocked by Brazil. And Rayasan is there to tidy up, a little 2-on-1 situation with Surlot. But Brazil force him into retreat mode, and he goes back to the centre halves. Aya can go square here, but he wants to keep it on that right-hand side. Erdegaard in the pocket, showing some tricks and skill. And now he can open up the pitch via Berger. In the central area, he keeps it going to Möller-Wolfer. And here's the dangerous Noosa in a one-on-one situation again, but he turned into trouble. Guimarães broke it up. Rayan brought it down and able to link up with Guimarães now, edging up towards halfway. Checks back into Casemiro and goes back to Gabriel. The left-sided centre half, the Arsenal man, goes back to Casemiro of Manchester United. And the left foot pass square to Danilo. Moves it on first time to Rayan on the right flank, the left footer. Loves to cut in on that left boot of his. Has Danilo making a nice run around him, but he comes back to Guimarães and Casemiro again. Now they'll explore this right-hand side again. Rayan, the teenager, goes back to Casemiro. Chance for the shot potentially, but it's blocked by Norway. Not a whole lot of pace in it. But Norway can, Brazil can recycle rather through Danilo and Casemiro. Vinicius Jr. wants it played, the diagonal out to the left. They go via the left back, Douglas Santos initially. And now the centre halves getting a touch or two. Marquinhos, he's looking forward, and that he saw the diagonal and gets it out to Vinicius Jr. Bouncing pass onto the chest of Vinny Jr. Showed too much of it to Rayasan. And inside the area, Vinicius Jr. won it back, and now they go back to Vinicius Jr.
Good save.
And Nealon has kept it out again with the feet. Oh, Rayasan dodges a bullet after losing possession, or rather Erdegaard inside his own box.
Nyland again with the save. He's made 3 very important saves in his first half. One now right before half-time. Starting to take the look of a goalkeeper who will not be beaten today.
Vinicius Jr. off the corner routine, dances into the box, played a pass through defenders' legs, but straight to Noosa. He couldn't keep it alive for Norway, though. Gave it straight back to Douglas Santos, who goes back to Alison Becker, who's about 35 metres out of his goal, to launch the attack again to Douglas Santos, who goes straight to Vinicius Jr. It's a poor touch by Vinny Jr. Lets it roll under his left boot and out of play for a Norwegian throw.
Best spell of possession is that chance again. Nyland save with his legs. Always quicker when it's closer to your body as a goalkeeper to go with your legs than your hands. Best spell of possession for Brazil right before that chance as well. They've pretty much allowed Norway to have the ball in areas that they think are not so dangerous. But just before that strike on goal from Vinicius, that was their best spell of possession.
So still goalless. Approaching half-time here, 41 minutes played, 0-0. Brazil and Norway. And Brazil with by far the better chances, including a spot kick that they missed. But now Haaland taking on the two centre-halves for Brazil. Bowls over Gabriel, who was able to nod it back to Alison Becker. And watch this space as Erling Haaland just puffs the cheeks out and thinks, I was nearly through on goal there. Brazil stringing the passes together. Martinelli has two to beat. Couldn't keep the attack going this time. Noosa picks it up in the centre circle, squeezes a pass to Haaland. One-on-one with the defender and plays in Ødegaard. Running out of room has the shot blocked. Out of play for a Norwegian corner.
Norway continue to show that they're going to be a danger as well. Good defending in the end by Brazil. A good play from Haaland. Ødegaard has his shot blocked. Now there's another chance for them. They've got to get the delivery right for these set plays. They have got some big players, good players in the air.
And they both wait at the back post here initially. Sørloth and Haaland with the corner to come in from the left-hand side. Now they'll get on the move. And he's towering over his immediate marker is Erling Haaland. As Berg will swing it in on the right boot and cut out at the near post. I don't know why the attacking team doesn't put a player at the near post just to flick it on if it does come up short. Of all the people they've got in the box, Bozza, why can't the attacking team put someone at the near post like the defending team does?
Well, in this situation, normally that means, like I said, this is what I said about the delivery, that the delivery is supposed to be to that back post. That's why they've got the raw players ready for that. So this is what I'm saying to you, right before the corner, delivery is so important. But I hear what you're saying, but the thing is you can't sort of, spare players for a possible mistake. You're looking for, here we go, Brazil again. You're looking for...
Well, they win it back high up the pitch again. And Norway get bodies in the road and Ryerson takes it away. Lovely ball outside of the boot, puts it out in front of Sørloth for the quick counter-attack from Norway. He's got one defender in front of him. Gabriel didn't fancy taking him on. Happy to recycle via Ødegaard.
And coming back to that corner thing, it's understandable what you're saying, but like I said, you're not preparing for a mistake. You want the delivery to be where you got your players. They would have practiced those type of things at training. So, whereas a signal or not, this is, as we talk, the match momentum coming up.
I'm happy to revolutionise. I'm happy to revolutionise world football, Bozzy. You know that.
I can understand. No, I
and
can
let's
understand
put it down
exactly,
at the near post from the attacking team. And if it's short, then you flick it on.
I can understand where you're coming from. And the other point as well, Speed, is if you can spare it, it's not a problem having a man at the near post to put the opposition off, to make them think, they might go near. Yeah, you pretty much, if you don't have anyone at the near post, pretty much as a defending team, I know where you're aiming for. And as a defending team, I'm going to have a man there. So it's an understandable claim what you've just said, to put somebody there, even if it is just to put the opposition off. But if he does not deliver it well, you got somebody there anyway who can at least make half a challenge.
Exactly. Flick it on, and then it becomes really dangerous for the defending team. Norway now go back to their goalkeeper, Nieland, the hero and man of the match leading candidate right now, keeping a clean sheet for the European side. He launches long with his left boot. And judged well in flight by Douglas Santos. His header picked up near the centre circle by Brazil, but Haaland sweeps into the action and wins it back for Norway. So he goes wide to Ødegaard on the right and wider still to Sørloth, a metre inside the right-hand sideline. He goes back to the right-back Ryerson, who links up with Berger, and they keep it on that side for Sørloth. Haaland waits in the middle. And Sørloth was looking for an early ball, but it's blocked by Martinelli back to attend to his defensive duties. And a couple of New York Knicks championship winners are in the house. Jalen Brunson NBA Finals MVP, Bozza. You knew that.
I did. And 30 years ago, Speedy, when the World Cup, or 32 years ago, when the World Cup was in America, and I actually went there for that World Cup, the Knicks are actually in the NBA Finals, but actually lost it. This time they won. What does that say? Is that going to line up? It was last time Brazil won the World Cup.
Going to be Italy this time? Oh, no, it's not.
Maybe. They're not here.
In the meantime, Norway have won a corner, and we're playing 6 minutes of stoppage time. Of course, 3 minutes for the hydration break and another 3 minutes as the referee was bailed out by VAR to give the penalty.
So here, look, you know, they've obviously got a move ready. They've got the 4 men at the end, and I can understand, even if you just want to, you know, because now if I'm Alisson Becker in Brazil, yeah, I'm thinking, well, we know exactly where they're aiming for. But let's have a look if somebody comes a little bit closer and then makes a run towards the near post. No, they've got somebody there now.
And now that goes deep, chance, and Brazil deal with it. And Martinelli tries to dribble out of his own box, pokes it forward, looking for Vinicius Jr. But first to react to that was Merle Wolfer.
They must have picked up our wavelengths because right before the corner, somebody did step into that near post area, Speedy. There you go, ESP, is that what it's called?
That was Patrick Berg.
Yeah.
Just the tip of the iceberg, really, when it comes to set pieces.
He couldn't help himself that way.
So Norway inside their own half, 2 minutes into the 6 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half, still goalless. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil. Feel like the possession stats are going to be shaded by Norway at halftime, Bozza, and Brazil are pretty happy with that because they are really setting up to launch with quick counters.
Oh, at the moment, I've got Norway on my technology that I have available to me, 66% possession. Forget about the in-contest thing. I still can't work that one out. But if you look at their expected goals, it's 0.22. Now, for those who don't know, again, the expected goals is like expected value from a shingle.
Haaland a chance, and picking up the scraps, Odegaard, and Alisson Becker makes a
Super
sensational one-handed save down low to his left.
Once again, Speedy, I think they're picking up our wavelengths, talking about Norway's possession as opposed to creating chances. And as we say that, they have their best chance of the game. Haaland causing havoc, ball runs for Odegaard. Wonderful shot, to be fair, low and hard, but Alisson Becker with a super save right before half-time. Vital save that was. Imagine if Brazil, you've missed a penalty, you've had these other chances, and all of a sudden you're walking in at half-time 1-0 down. Vital save by Alisson.
Guimaraes has options here, goes wide to Douglas Santos, who can work it down the line to Vinicius Jr. He goes straight back to the left back, who squares it to Guimaraes. Norway set up with a back five at the moment and another four in front of them. So they go wide to Danilo on the right, back inboard to Casemiro and Guimaraes. He can turn out towards Vinny Jr., who's isolated one-on-one, and a chance to run at Ryerson. Keeps it away with great skill. Surlot came to lend a hand, back to Guimaraes, who couldn't score from the spot, tried to score from 30 metres out, and Norway get a block in. Whip back in, great ball, and misjudged in flight. Casemiro bent one in, and Martinelli went right underneath it.
Well, that was close. The strike as well, I'd like to see that, because Nyland started moving. Martinelli completely onside, just misjudged it a touch. Came in for it, and it was just a little bit beyond him. Good play once again, and here's that chance. Look at Haaland. Physical strength is awesome. And that was a super save from Alisson Becker. Low and hard. I think Odegaard would have thought this is going in.
Well, he went to the near post earlier, and this time he went far post, and Alisson Becker, such a big presence in goal, able to get down and smother it. So there's still just over a minute of stoppage time remaining at the end of the first half. And we are still goalless. Chances at both ends. Odegaard with the best looks for Norway. Erling Haaland with one little outside of the boot flick that didn't really test Alisson. Now they come to Noosa. Quiet in the last 10 minutes or so. He goes back inboard to Berger. Runs being made here. Odegaard into the area and blocked off legally by Gabriel.
Super run, and not a bad ball as well. He played it.
Couple of Arsenal stars head-to-head in that situation.
We saw that the other day from Lisandro Martinez with that first goal for Argentina. Absolutely no messing. If a player makes a run into a dangerous area, play the ball.
Finney Jr. goes down looking for a free kick, and he gets no whistle. And Aya says, mate, you're better than that, and so does the ref.
He grabbed his shirt. For me, that's a foul. He can say what he wants, Aya. You can't grab your opposition's shirt.
Geez, you've changed, Bozza. You think that's enough for a free kick?
He's grabbed his shirt. You can't grab your opposition's shirt.
But he let it go just as quickly when he realised he's grabbed the shirt.
Doesn't matter. That's even worse sometimes when you're a quick player. Somebody grabs your shirt and then lets you go. It's kind of like the baby effect, right? You know when a baby's flying, you hold them and let them go and they go flying? Yeah, same thing when you're going at that pace. And I think that's half-time, Speedy.
Great analogy. That'll be going viral. For Valvoline, the original engine oil, it's half-time in New Jersey. And it's Brazil 0, Norway 0, and so much to talk about when we come back on SEN.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory, that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
Say yes to proudly showing up for your country and then losing your dignity on the dance floor. It's the Australian way. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, IDD.
Right now, you can get 3K off select model year 26.5 Rangers. Plus, you'll also get the first 5 general services free at participating Ford dealers now. Visit Ford.com.au for details.
When was the last time you reviewed your home loan? With interest rates and policies changing regularly, you might be paying more interest than you need to. A home loan review from Synergy Mortgage Brokers compares loan options from a wide range of lenders and offers personalised advice to uncover savings or unlock equity to help you smash those finance goals. Book your free home loan review with Synergy Mortgage Brokers at synergymortgagebrokers.com.au. Australian Credit Licence 517192.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips, and plenty of recommendations of what they're reading, watching, and whipping up in the kitchen.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. She doesn't bare her soul, clearly, but she gives just enough to give us a real sense of who she is.
Yeah, very much so. And she's a very uncomplicated person, I think. And because she has this innate sense of celebrityism, I think, you know, health allowing and everything going her way, I think she could end up like Cher. You know, she could just be, you know, 70s and 80s and doing the gigs. Tina Turner, she could still be doing that.
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, awarded CanStar's most trusted energy provider 3 times. Maybe it's time you switch to Red.
Blitz into Chemist Warehouse for the end of financial year Blitz and get half price off the Nature's Own range. Pick up glucosamine sulfate 400 tabs for just $24.99. Bump up your B12 with B12 Nature's Own 1000 microgram 120 tabs, $14.74. Make your self-care routine even better with ashwagandha plus plus 60 tabs, $14.99. And complete the set with Complete Sleep Advance 40 tabs, $19.74. Care for yourself and your bank account with the Chemist Warehouse End of Financial Year Blitz. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Melbourne City FC. From grassroots to football's biggest stage. Proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And they're in behind here. Surlock played through by Erdegaard. Cuts it back. Big chance. And it's in for Norway, but the offside flag goes up. And Patrick Berg is denied for now. Brazilian fans have already counted this one, but it still has to be scored. Guimaraes, stuttering approach, and the keeper saves it. Nearline for Norway is the hero right now. It's a terrible penalty, and you wonder why. Guimaraes takes it, and not one of the 4 attackers. He looks for another option onto his left boot and nearly snuck it in at the near post side netting from Martin Erdegaard as Norway get a shot away. And back to Hegem. Dropping deep here is Erdegaard to make things tick. And now they've got it to Noosa on the left-hand side again. Cuts onto his right boot. Teases one in. Haaland! Oh, brilliant idea. He tried to loop it over Alisson Becker. Didn't quite get enough on it. And the Brazilian goalkeeper was able to pluck it out of the sky pretty comfortably. And inside the area, Vinicius Jr. won it back, and now they go back to Vinicius Jr.
Good save.
And Nearline has kept it out again with the feet. Oh, Rayasan dodges a bullet after losing possession. Or rather, Erdegaard inside his own box. Haaland a chance. And picking up the scraps, Erdegaard. And Alisson Becker makes a sensational one-handed save down low to his left. Whip back in. Great ball. And misjudged in flight. Casemiro bent one in, and Martinelli went right underneath it.
All the highlights out of the first half between Brazil and Norway. It remains scoreless in this round of 16 clash at New York, New Jersey Stadium out of East Rutherford. And this is the Global Game Choices Flooring halftime show.
The Global Game. Choices Flooring halftime floor show. Choices Flooring. Style, comfort, quality. Helping you choose with confidence. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
The halftime break is also thanks to 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 official radio broadcaster. And thanks to Host Plus, named Best Super Fund by Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo. That's a plus issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. Check the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 official radio broadcaster. Paul Sebastiani to guide you through the halftime show. Now let's get the thoughts of our expert commentator. Thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more money at Chemist Warehouse. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 official radio broadcaster in Mark Bosnich. A scoreless first half, Bozza, but an entertaining one nevertheless. We've had a penalty save, we've had a couple of shouts, we've had some big goalkeeper saves as well.
Good morning to you, Paul. 100,000,000%. Very, very rarely when you look at a score and it says 0-0 that you sort of think, this was absolutely a phenomenal first half. It was. I thought Brazil's tactics of letting Norway have the majority of possession in areas that didn't really bother them was absolutely spot on. Then every time they won it back, they were at them. They broke with such speed and really should be going into the break a goal to the good. But Norway continued to provide a threat, and we saw that, especially right at the end with Odegaard. Haaland is always a danger. His physicality, goal-scoring prowess, his pace, everything that he's got. And you see a lot of times Marquinhos and Gabriel have to both pick him up. And he set up Haaland, and Becker had to make the save. So if you're a Brazilian supporter, you're nervous because you know you should be up. You've missed a penalty. It's starting to take the look upon the goalkeeper, Nyland, for Norway. He's got that unbeatable look. And Norway, I think you'd be much happier at the two teams. You know you should be down. You know you continue to provide a threat. And the longer it goes at 0-0, the more the pendulum swings from Brazil being favourites to Norway coming into it. is a big opportunity. They know they've got a great history. Brazil have never beaten them in a competitive fixture. So, like I said, I'd be very, very concerned deep down. I wouldn't show it if I was Ancelotti to the Brazilian side. I'd be telling him just to keep doing what you're doing. The goal will come. But if I was Norway, Solbakken, their manager, I'd be very, very happy the way things have gone.
Now, many people have been complaining about video assistant referee and what it means to football as a whole, but it was the big moment thanks to Liquorland. Game On Drink Sorted, legendary Liquorland, broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 official radio broadcaster. Here is how Speedy and Bozza called the big moment of the first half.
Goes to Hegem. Noosa trying to roll his man. Lost out to Rayan, who's passed another Norwegian opponent, left him in his wake. And Brazil right through the middle here. Opportunity for Martinelli. And penalty won by Brazil, perhaps. Referee waves off the appeal. It'll be up to VAR as a goal kick has been awarded. And they are furious. Mateus Cunha says that's a penalty. And VAR will sort this one out, Bozza.
It will do, but first instinct, I don't know about you, Speedy, but I thought penalty.
Ismail El Fath, thanks to the VAR work of the Nicaraguan in the VAR centre, has awarded the spot kick, and it's party time for Brazil, but you've still got to beat the keeper now, Bozza.
100,000,000%.
So it's the Newcastle United midfielder against Nieland in the Norwegian goal. And we have played 13 minutes. It's about 3 minutes after that foul occurred, and finally the spot kick will be taken. Brazilian fans have already counted this one, but it still has to be scored. Guimaraes, stuttering approach, and the keeper saves it. Nieland for Norway is the hero right now. It's a terrible penalty, and you wonder why. Guimaraes takes it, and not one of the four attackers.
So that was a big moment out of the first half, Bozza. And I don't think the VAR was the big moment, Bozza. It was the penalty from Bruno Guimaraes, the stutter run-up. He didn't sell the keeper, and everybody talks about the VAR, but the penalty was a dead-set stinker.
Well, no, the VAR, that's what it was brought in for. That was a clear and obvious penalty that was missed by the on-field referee. Okay, we could keep going on about this, Rage, but say in comparison to the Croatia goal that should have been awarded against Portugal, which was not clear and obvious. That's why it shouldn't have. That's what they're there for, to get involved in clear and obvious. Anyway, onto the penalty. You mentioned the stuttered run-up. I'm telling you from a goalkeeper's perspective, once they start stuttering, and especially when it shortens up their run-up then in the end, and if you're staying like on your line, you're not moving too quickly, advantage swings to you, you can feel it, because it tells you that basically he's not 100% confident. And Nyland, who's been absolutely outstanding in the first half, pulled off a save that he'll go down in history for, be able to tell his grandchildren about, and keeps Norway in a wonderful position, really. In terms of Norway, I thought Odegaard was good in the first half. We talked about Haaland being a constant threat, but Noosa, the man over here, the RB Leipzig man on the left wing, he's been phenomenal, and he's a constant danger.
Yeah, he is definitely a constant danger on the counter, and both keepers have effectively kept nations and kept the scoreline at 0-0. Allison doing a phenomenal job saving that low Odegaard chance as well. And they're the thoughts of our expert commentator, Mark Bosnich. Thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more at Chemist Warehouse, broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And, of course, Choices Flooring and 420 Pies, broadcast sponsor of the coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026, official radio broadcaster.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026, official radio broadcaster.
Say yes to turning into a Socceroo girl at the pub. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, I'm Dee Dee. Woo! Woo!
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory, but we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Right now, you can get 3K off select model year 26.5 Rangers. Plus, you'll also get the first 5 general services free at participating Ford dealers now. Visit ford.com.au for details.
For over a century, Cyclone has armed Australians with the strongest, most reliable garden tools. Trusted by trade professionals and home gardeners alike, Cyclone tools are engineered for superior performance in tough Aussie conditions. When you pick up a Cyclone product, you're holding a tool made to perform and made to endure. The #1 name for Australian garden tools, Cyclone Tools. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Mitre 10 and independent garden retailers.
A legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. At Liquorland, we've been filling fridges and helping Aussies raise a glass for over 50 years. Cold, but cosy nights in. And summer sundowners, hosting the watch party. Or cooking for a full house, for the last minute dash on the way, or ordering your favourites from the couch. Yes! We'll bring the epic value and the legendary drinks. Liquorland, legendary. Choose to drink wise.
Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
Dreaming of buying your first home? Planned capital gains tax and negative gearing changes could open doors for first home buyers. With personalised advice, Synergy Mortgage Brokers can help you understand your borrowing power, even with just a 5% deposit, comparing loan options from a wide range of lenders, and guide you from pre-approval through to settlement. Book your free first home buyer strategy session with Synergy Mortgage Brokers today at synergymortgagebrokers.com.au. Australian credit licence 517192.
With 2 top 40 golf courses, including new North and South course options, Club Tokemwal is Australia's premier Murray River golfing destination and your local golf club where everyone is welcome. You'll love the brand new Pro Shop and Clubhouse where you can enjoy a drink on the new balcony overlooking the championship course. With award-winning food, players lounge and weekly live music, there's something for everyone. Ask about stay and play packages available for your next golfing getaway. Visit clubtokemwal.com. Gamble responsibly.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Say yes to tackling a couple of soccerooners at your local after the match. You get it? Soccerooners. Schooners. It sounds like schooners. Anyway, say yes to going out after the game. Say yes. Oh, Dee.
Melbourne City FC. From grassroots to football's biggest stage. Proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Welcome back. Second half underway in New Jersey. Still goalless, Brazil v Norway. And a double change at half-time from Norway. Sheldrup and Bob are on. Noosa and Surlot are off. So changes in the wide areas in the attacking third for Norway as the handball is awarded against Rayan. So a relieving free kick in their defensive third for Norway.
I'll tell you what, in terms of the substitutions, I hope Noosa's injured, because if he's not, I've got no answer for anyone as to why you would take off your most dangerous and best player, in my opinion, Noosa. So Oscar Bob, the Fulham man, on.
And Sheldrup of Benfica.
Yep.
A couple of youngsters, both 22.
Yep. But the Noosa decision needs explaining because, like I said, most dangerous and best player, in my opinion, for Norway. With the exception of Nyland, perhaps, but every time he got the ball, there was danger.
So free kick for Norway taken by Ødegaard. Goes back to Ajer and dropping in between the centre halves to pick up possession is Berger. Goes back to Ajer and he can go square if he wants to, but he drops the shoulder on Vinny Jr. And he's able to get his right back involved. Rayasan goes back to Aya, about 30 metres from his goal, and he can go back to Neelan, the hero of the first half for Norway, saving a spot kick and a few other opportunities as well for the boys from Brazil. Rayasan now in the right back position, confronted by Martinelli, and they play through the press of Guimaraes and find space here for Ødegaard. And go inboard to Berg. And he dribbles his way around Casemiro like he wasn't there, and then got excited as he launches one high into the stands. It cleared the crossbar by about 25 metres. I said this yesterday, Bozza. Has the Jabulani reappeared at a World Cup?
Well, maybe it's something else that FIFA have put in the ball. As we found out, didn't we, the other day, that they've got a chip in the ball that's like a Snicko meter.
Yeah, they've got helium in there.
Yeah. What else have they got in there? Yeah, maybe another control that somebody in the crowd, if he doesn't like somebody, can make sure the ball flies over the stand.
So Brazil with the goal kick and now launching it towards halfway. Rayasan heads down. Casemiro hooks it high. Ødegaard, or rather Berg, won the aerial duel, brought it down for Sheldrup. And now they've got Ødegaard down the right-hand side, who can go to the fullback. Rayasan pushing on. At 1 metre in from the sideline, goes back to Ødegaard. Norway playing with confidence here. Back heel from Ødegaard, and now Bob turns his way away from Casemiro, who comes again but can't prevent the throw-in for Norway in the attacking third. As Ødegaard helps Casemiro back to his feet. Very sporting gesture here. 5 minutes into the second half. We do it for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So they work a little routine, and it looked like a foul on Rayasan, who says, I was rugby tackled there. But the assistant and referee saw nothing wrong with the work of Douglas Santos, who'll take the throw. For Brazil. Deep in his own half. He tosses one in, which is hooked upfield towards Vinny Jr., who doesn't bother with the aerial duel against Aya. Erling Haaland wins another aerial duel, and he nods it back into the centre circle for Norway to tidy up through the left back, Merle Wolfer. And now Aya has it. Chance to just edge his way over halfway and go back to Rayasan down this right-hand side. It's a good outlet for Norway at the moment. Bob wants it to feet short. Works a little 1-2 and drags it away from the Brazilian defender. Creating a real overload on this right-hand side, Norway, as Bob tricks his way past two, but not the third. And now Brazil have the ball at their feet, but a risky pass inboard. Almost allowed Berg to nick it away. But Guimaraes was confident in close possession, and now they've got it to the teenager Ryan, who goes back to the fullback Danilo, and here's Paul, a hopeful one into the middle. Martinelli's misjudged it in flight again and taken off his toes by Ødegaard. Norway really bossing this little segment of the game after half-time.
They are. And you're certainly right before about the right-hand side overloading. About 6 players down this side. I'll tell you what, who's the happiest man at the start of the second half? That's the Brazilian right-back Danilo, knowing that Noose is not on that side. Very strange decision, unless he was injured. Completely right. If he's injured, he's injured, but still can't get my head around if he wasn't. Yep. It's just taking him off from a tactical perspective.
So back to Neelan, inside his own area, goes along the deck to Ødegaard, and he can square it up to his centre half. Hegem gets it back here. Ødegaard now edging up towards halfway with his head up, and Haaland not exactly making any dynamic runs in behind, so just goes lateral instead. Now they have it on that right-hand side again for Bob, who goes back to Berger, and they'll go back to Ødegaard on halfway again.
What Haaland does very well, Speedy, is that he basically stays still. He puts the defence to sleep, and then he explodes. One of the oldest tricks in the book. A lot of great strikers do that. Doesn't waste energy. Very efficient, very economic. And now he goes when he knows he senses danger.
Sheldrup can go to Merle Wolfer, cuts it back. A nice idea, but Haaland was waiting for an aerial delivery. And Brazil were able to clear their lines, and a poor touch from Hegem gives Brazil a throw-in their own half. 53 minutes played, still goalless for Valvoline, the original engine oil.
And Brazil happy to sit back like they did in the first half with their tactics. Worked pretty well, trying to control the game from a defensive perspective and then break with blinding speed. But here goes Norway again.
Yeah, Haaland with the hold-up play. And gave Sheldrup a chance to run at defenders, but he couldn't beat the two Brazilians. And now a counter-attack potential. Martinelli to lead it for Brazil. Held up in the centre circle briefly, works it wide to Douglas Santos, and now Vinny Jr. has a one-on-one situation potentially against Bob. He drops the shoulder on him, takes on the fullback, and he's inside the area. Vinny Jr. dynamic, tried to poke it across the face of goal, claims a corner. I think he should get it because the touch that ricocheted back off him was when he was already out of play, and Brazil do get the corner and a set piece won by Vinny Jr.
Explosive again by Vinny Jr. That's a corner. Right decision.
Aya tried to con the referee.
Like he did with the penalty.
So Cunha across to take it. And Brazil have thrown about 5 or 6 into the box. So many inside that 6-yard box as well for Neelan to try and find a passage through if he wants to command his penalty area. Whipped in towards the near post, flashes across the face of goal along the deck and harmlessly out for Sheldrup to tidy up for Norway.
Tell you what, if you're a Brazil supporter now, Speedy, and we know how passionate and fanatical they are, you're looking at things like that, you're looking at the penalty, some of the other chances are thinking, I hope it's not going to be one of those days.
Isn't it interesting what the scoreboard does to the attitude? You think Brazil 1-0 down against Japan in the round of 32, came out after half-time, absolutely dominated on the front foot looking for goals, and they got 2 in the second half. 0-0 at half-time, and they're just content to just sit back and wait for their moment.
Well, they've done that in the first half too. This is an obvious tactic. And I think they've probably learned a little bit from the Japanese game to say, look, listen, okay, we had to come out against them after we went 1-0 down, but let's not go silly here. Because, like I said, 2 ways to control a game. One is through possession. Here comes Oscar Bob. I'll continue that conversation once this attack is over.
Uses Ryerson down the right-hand side. Confirmation that those changes at half-time were purely tactical from Solbakken. So let's hope it comes off for him.
Yeah, if he doesn't, he's going to have to answer some serious questions afterwards because Noosa was by far, he's one of the best players on the park, let alone just in Norway.
That wonder goal in the previous round as well. Here's one of the replacements, Bob, in a central area, and he goes to the other one. The subs combine. Sheldrup on the edge of the area. Tried to thread one through for the run of Erdegaard. Rebounds back his way, Sheldrup, the Benfica man. Shows nice close control, but in the end, 2 Brazilians combined to play it out of him for the Brazilian throw.
Woody Harrison.
Of White Man Can't Jump fame, who's got the Brazil cap on in the stands, and Chris Rock is there.
Yep.
And no sign of Will Smith.
Anyway, back to what I was saying about controlling the game. 2 ways to control the game. The obvious one through possession, territory. The other one is defensively. Okay, that you stay in a defensive block and you push other teams in an area where they're not that they're not comfortable, but where they basically can't hurt you. And then when you win the ball back, you continue to hit them on the break. And this is what Brazil has employed throughout this game to, in my opinion, some really good success. They should be ahead, but they're not. It would be interesting to see, but if Norway do take the lead, Speedy, then they're going to have to come out. Then things will change. I have to.
How we could have done with that Guimaraes goal from the spot after 13 minutes just to really open up this game. And we're still goalless approaching the hour mark here as Norway probe again and lift one over the top. Berger finds Sheldrup with a nice ball. He's out on the left-hand side, just on the edge of the penalty area, drags it away from one Brazilian defender, and they're getting 2-on-1 against Sheldrup as Carlo Ancelotti is about to go to his bench very soon. And the Brazilian fans getting excited about this imminent change as Cunha is going off and Endrick will be the one coming on.
Young 19-year-old.
Plays his club football with Lyon in France.
He's on loan from Real Madrid. And there's Cunha, won his penalty. We were disappointed, but that it wasn't converted.
Thinking he should have taken it now instead of Guimaraes. So Endrick, very popular and excitable. The Brazilian fans to see Endrick on and Rayan on, a couple of teenagers in the wide areas. And wait and see if they get proactive here as Norway keep it in the attacking third. Bob goes back to Ødegaard. And he tried to thread one through the legs of Casemiro, who wins it back and slides it to Vinny Jr. Lovely move, and he slips it through. The super sub, Endrick, pokes it away, misses. He's upended, and it's a goal kick. And Endrick, 1 minute after coming on, could have put his name up in lights after beautiful build-up play.
Could have been the substitute of the century. It's a wonderful example, but as well for all young players watching, you've got to be ready at any stage, even if you just come on. But I think you saw, even with that first touch, he wasn't quite at it just yet. Nyland does really well, makes himself big, gives him very little target, but what another great opportunity, goes begging for Brazil.
Well, he's all left foot, isn't he, Endrick? And maybe the right foot could have been used at one stage there just to make it a sure thing.
I just think coming on, I don't think he's just quite with it. But what a substitution that would have been for Ancelotti. And how much, but I reckon and the whole of Brazil would have been thinking, I wish it was the other way around. I wish it was Endrick playing it through to Vinicius.
So a wake-up call for Norway, who continued to dominate possession. But Brazil have had the big chance of the second half. About to tick past the hour mark as Nyland saved the penalty early in the game. Launches long towards Haaland. Puts his body in on Gabriel. Norway pick up the second ball. Sheldrup combines with Bob. Those two half-time substitutions. And now Bob tries a trick. And Berg thought he was offside. Doesn't go for the ball. And Brazil able to take it out of the defensive third. Nice ball pulled into the central area for Martinelli to lay it off to Gabriel. And now through the middle they go. Guimaraes has it poked away by Ayer. One back by Martinelli. Puts it down in front of Endrick. Uses that left boot again. Can go wide to Vinny Jr. Keeps it in the central area. Takes on the strike. And it deflects out of Hegem for a Brazil corner.
Wins the corner, but you can tell he was trying to make up for his miss. If I was Vinny Jr., I'd be walking past him going, buddy, calm down. Pass the ball to me, mate. I'll get it back to you.
You can see why the Brazilian fans were excited. They're knowledgeable, aren't they? When Endrick came on, they knew the game was about to change.
Unfortunately for Brazil, not changed enough.
What can they do from this set piece? In the sunshine in New Jersey. 61 minutes in. Norway with the heights. Brazil with the guile. And Guimaraes to swing it in on his right boot. Goes deep. Nyland comes, gets one hand to it, punches it out to Bob, who helps it on with the head. And Brazil pick up the ball eventually. Whip back in towards the back posts, and the header back across the face of goal. Oh, the shots! And it almost wrong-footed Nyland, who kept it out from Rayan. And Brazil threatened again.
Great save again from Nyland. Did well with the corner as well. It was a good ball in from Guimaraes. Punched out well, but another save. Just reinforcing what we were saying before, that he's got that look of a goalkeeper who just will not be beaten today.
Yeah, the way he went and saved it with his legs, it's almost as though it took a deflection. We'll wait for the replay to confirm that, the shot from Rayan.
Did look like that. You're right, Speedy. Did look like that.
62 minutes played, goalless. Vinny Jr. now down the left. Oh, just beautiful move. Got around his man. Bob came to lend a hand, but Vinny Jr. keeps it for Brazil. Casemiro to the back post. I think Ryan's offside. Chance here, Guimaraes. And now the offside flag goes up. Should be a Norway free kick.
Yeah, offside flag goes up, but once again, the players didn't know that. That man again, Nyland, another fantastic save. He's having the game of his life. Oh, that was close. No way of the players knowing what was going to be called offside, but just look at that save as well. Like a European handball goalkeeper.
Good shout, yeah. And just a beat too slow. Casemiro just saw Rayan and then had to think about it and then passed. There's confirmation of the deflection.
You got that one spot on.
And a one-handed save from Nyland to deny Rayan about 3 minutes ago now.
Excellent save. The player in front of him, I don't know who it was, did him no favours. When I was goalkeeper, I said to players, do not open your legs when they're about to shoot, because it makes me difficult to go one side or the other. If you just stay, another substitution, Rierson's off, Åsnes is on for Norway. Anyway, coming back to that, to say you open your legs, it's hard for me then, because it can take a deflection, it's hard to get a view. Just stand on one side and don't put your leg out, and I'll be on the other side. Well, whoever the defender was did, got the deflection, and another wonderful save.
So like-for-like change at right back. Åsnes to deal with the threat of Vinny Jr. Solbakken not afraid to make changes, and here's Åsnes getting forward now with Vinny Jr. not tracking back, and he's a chance to pull the trigger. Goes towards Haaland. I think it was intended for Ødegaard to let it run, and now Brazil win it back only briefly as Berger has control of the ball for Norway, and they go back to Åsnes, and he squares it up to Hegem, the left-sided centre half. Keeps it in the centre circle for Berger. And Martinelli puts some pressure on, so he goes back to Ajer, and wider still to Åsnes, the most recent substitute. So Norway have made 3 changes, Brazil just the 1. And we're not too far away from the second half hydration break. In the 65th minute here for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Brazil 0, Norway 0. Extra time and penalties are there if required. As Åsnes just kept it in, went down the line to Bob and finds the target in Ødegaard inside, and now Norway can push on. Berg probing in the middle, works it wide to Müller-Wolfer, and he goes out to Sheldrup just inside the left-hand touchline. Comes back to Hegem, and Norway have moved on. Brazil have dropped deeper. Hegem looks vertical, and now a chance for Sheldrup down that left-hand side. Oh, it could have gone anywhere. Off Alisson Becker, off a Brazilian defender, and no scraps for Norway, but they get a corner.
Well, that cross causes absolute havoc right in between the goalkeeper and the last line. In the end, Alisson Becker comes out for the cross, doesn't gather it with both hands, just the one hand, but he deflects it out the way of Erling Haaland, who just would have had a tap in. But it put everybody off. They are maintaining their threat, Norway. Nervous times for Brazil. Should be at least goal to the good, and they're not, having to defend their lines with great desperation.
Another in-swinging corner coming from the left boot of Martin Ødegaard. Whips it in. Oh, 4 Brazilians against 1 Norwegian. And they're furious they couldn't get on the end of that. It was beautiful delivery. The substitutes combine again here. Bob for Sheldrup. And he doesn't whip it in. He can go back to Bob, who's popped up on the left-hand side. And they exchange some passes again, those 2 subs. Back to Bob, who opens up rooms, threads one through. Oh, he's Haaland at the back post, and he couldn't get on the end of a lovely idea. The ball bent to the back post from the defender, Ajer, who can't believe Haaland didn't get a touch.
It was absolute whiskers away. Ajer, right on the side where he gave away the penalty, outside of the boot, just couldn't curl it back enough. Haaland just short. Little deflection there from the Brazilian player. I think that was vital in taking the ball out of Haaland's path. I have to see the replay again to see who the Brazilian player was, but as Ajer put the ball in with the outside of his right foot, the slightest of touch from the Brazilian player. It is Martinelli now coming off. Ancelotti ringing the changes. And Rayan off as well for Brazil. And Neymar Jr. and Danilo Santos on. Big cheer for Neymar.
So he's got a quarter of the 90 to play. Neymar Jr., Brazilian legend. Brought them Olympic gold, of course, at the Maracanã at the 2016 Olympics. And it's time for the hydration break. Brazil 0, Norway 0. What a game for a goalless draw so far.
Super game. Hydration break for the players and a stand break for the bozo here.
So Neymar, 34 years young. Can he put his name up in lights again here? Limited minutes for him so far at the World Cup, but significant minutes to play now.
He has. I mean, it was, I don't know if anyone saw, but it was actually when Ancelotti was named in the squad, it was a huge event in Brazil and for the Brazilian diaspora to see whether or not Neymar was named in the squad. And when he was, there was like, it was cheered like they'd actually won a game. So it split Brazil a little bit down the middle in terms of his being selected. Majority, I think, would lean towards that was a good idea, but what they all did say to me was that they wanted to make sure that if he's called upon during a crunch game, which is right now, that he can produce. So this is his opportunity in this final quarter. You have to say final quarter because of the hydration breaks.
And the first change today from Carlo Ancelotti nearly turned into a super sub moment.
It did, literally right after he came on.
Who wins it back and slides it to Vin. And he tried to thread one through the legs of Casemiro, who wins it back and slides it to Vinny Jr. Lovely move, and he slips it through. The super sub, Endrick, pokes it away, misses. He's upended, and it's a goal kick. And Endrick, 1 minute after coming on, could have put his name up in lights after beautiful build-up play. So the 19-year-old from Lyon on loan from Real Madrid should really have buried the 5th international goal of his young career.
Should have at least hit the target. Nyland once again was onto him. Made it very difficult for them, but just goes to show when, like I said, you've got to be ready at all stages as best as you possibly can. Whether you're a goalkeeper, whether you're an outfield player, especially in tournament play, because anything can happen at the touch of a hat. And it's hard sometimes, sometimes people are disappointed you haven't started. They say warm up, sometimes you go through the motions, but it can happen. What a difference it would be, even now to him. You saw that afterwards he tried to make up for it with that shot now, but what a difference. He's come on, he scored a goal. Imagine Ancelotti, if he scored, just brought him on, he would have turned to the crowd and to the Brazilian officials and sort of give him a wink and say, see. But it didn't quite work that way. But now, in terms of substitutes, Neymar, over to you, my friend.
And he's the central figure in attack right now. Brazil's number 10. So much pressure comes with wearing that shirt. And the 34-year-old Neymar commands that number. As we restart play after the hydration break. 70 minutes into the contest. Goalless here as Ødegaard presses immediately. And he tells Haaland to come with him, but it's all Ødegaard on the press, and Brazil good enough to play around them. And now the ball whipped into the centre circle. A touch for Danilo Santos. One of the recent substitutions came on in the double change with Neymar. Now Vinny Jr. goes short to Neymar. Listen to the crowd respond every time Neymar gets a touch. And he's stopped in his tracks by Ursnes. Goes out for a Brazil throw, and Neymar receives that as well. Gets his head up and teases one into the area. It was a nice idea. Thumbs up from Guimaraes, who was a little late on the uptake, and it goes through to Nealon.
Exactly the right idea, Speedy. Exactly the right idea. We saw that, like I said, with Argentina the other day when they couldn't break down Cape Verde. Sandro Martinez at centre back, looked up straight away, no second thought, long ball to Messi and goal.
Oh, well done, Danilo Santos. Won the ball from Aya, but it's won back by Bob, and Ødegaard goes inboard to Erling Haaland, who plays himself into trouble. Kept it alive, though, for Ødegaard, who can try and play in Bob. When a little nibble from behind took Ødegaard down, but no penalty, and Brazil cleared their lines. Should be coming back, though, Norway. A real intent shown since the hydration break and the timeout, effectively, for the Norwegian coach to get them on the same page.
We've seen that from teams during this World Cup after the hydration breaks. Some not as good as before, others come out absolute roaring. Got to be careful here, Brazil. We're down into the last 20, 25 minutes. You saw that with the defending right there. The teams that are, I don't think Norway would have thought about this tactic completely, but I know a lot of teams who are the less fancy teams, let's say. I think Norway's more of a fancy team than what I'm going to talk about here. But I know for a fact in the less fancy teams, a lot of them say, and I said this before about Cape Verde, keep it 0-0 or even down 1-0, up until the 70th minute, then we can really have a crack at the opposition. And the reason why they say that 70th minute is they know that last 20 minutes, it's danger time.
Here's Vinny Jr. trying to loop one over the top to Neymar. Norway deal with it pretty comfortably. Erstnes with a nice ball to Ødegaard, who flicks it over the top of Guimaraes, who comes again. And he left a little accidental elbow in on Berg, who kept his feet but won the free kick. And even Leonardo DiCaprio is here.
The cap. The cap's got the cap on.
He ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. Crowd really energetic. Still goalless, 74th minute. Brazil 0, Norway 0. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on SEN. All the big games. You can listen live on SEN during this World Cup, thanks to Valvoline, the original engine oil, as Ødegaard just combines with Berger as it comes to walking pace in the centre circle. And he wants Hegem to push forward. Found a teammate in a pocket of space, Sheldrup. But he's crowded out of it by Brazil. Risky square pass from Danilo Santos, and Danilo almost showed too much to Ødegaard, but they played their way through trouble. And now Neymar goes wide to the left for Vinny Jr. A chance to run at Erstnes. A step over or two from Vinny Jr. Squares it up here. And Casemiro cushioned it for Guimaraes. And the ball whipped across the face of goal by Danilo, pushing on from the right back position. Back in by Casemiro. Blocked by the initial defender, and Norway able to tidy up. They go to a one-on-one here. Haaland in a wrestle with Gabriel. Poked back to Ødegaard. Haaland back to his feet. Bob has a runner on the outside. He doesn't use Erstnes. He brings it into Ødegaard, who keeps it alive for Haaland on the edge of the area. Strokes it out in front of Sheldrup, and Alisson keeps him out. Brilliant build-up by Norway, and the Brazilian shot stopper called upon to keep it goalless.
Great save from Alisson. One word for you here, Haaland. Norway were under pressure. They had to clear it. Haaland's got 3 defenders around him. He not only holds it up, but he makes sure that Norway have got a chance to catch up the play. And all of a sudden, they're on the attack and they nearly score. That is the benefit of having somebody up front who can hold the ball up in that fashion.
And what about the pass selection of Martin Ødegaard? What a game he's having. As they keep it in the attacking third here. And they get it to Ødegaard on the left. And they've got a real overload out there. Sheldrup, who's just been hugging that left-hand sideline, goes back. And now Ødegaard, edge of the area, strokes it back out to Sheldrup. A metre in from the left-hand sideline, can go back to Bob, the other half-time change. And he goes back again, and they'll build via the centre circle where Ayer gets a touch or two. Just dances around Neymar and keeps it on that left-hand side for Sheldrup. He slides one in behind. The cutback was intended for Berg, but cut out by Marquinhos. And the Brazilian captain takes it away, but misses Neymar with the ball out. And Ayer just has time to applaud his teammates before he receives the ball and gets Norway ticking again. 76 minutes played, goalless here in the round of 16. Brazil keeping their shape, 4-4-2. Defensively, as Ødegaard gets a touch just forward of the centre circle. Goes square to Berger. Wider still to the left back, Müller-Wolfe. And now they're searching towards the right-hand side where Erstnes has pushed on, but Ødegaard checks back the other way. Berger searches for the ball, finds it eventually, looks forward, and goes square to Müller-Wolfe. Trying to drag Brazil out a little bit further to open up a bit more space. Ayer goes to Erstnes right on halfway. And he goes back to Ayer. And he's got options under no pressure. Goes back into the centre circle for Berger. 77 minutes gone. Still goalless. Brazil 0, Norway 0.
See what I was talking about before about controlling the game defensively, Speedy? This is what you want. You want them to be playing at this pace. You get your breather as the defending team. You stay in your shape, your formation. Only problem comes, like I said, but it's okay because Brazil can change. We've seen that, but they're talking about for other teams, as Haaland once again causes problems up front, is when the opposition go 1-0 up, then you've got to come out. Brazil don't mind that. It's okay with them. That's exactly what they're looking for as they look to make another substitution.
But in the meantime, Norway restart play. And they go back to Berger about 40 metres from goal. Just turns away from Ødegaard, but should use the captain, and he does. Ødegaard dances into space in a central area, goes to Erstnes, the right back. Bob ahead of him down the right-hand side, showed too much of it to the left back, Douglas Santos, who puts it out of play, the Zenit St. Petersburg man. And now it is time for that change for Brazil.
So it's Edison coming on.
And Guimarães going off.
So he won't have that opportunity to, if it does go to penalties, to take another one.
So just this 5th cap for the Atalanta man. Edison on to freshen things up in midfield. So the number 2 is on to play in that midfield position, left vacant by Guimarães, who missed the spot kick, had it saved by Nieland, and was in position to score on a couple of other occasions, but the ball just didn't quite fall for him in the penalty box as Hegem drops it off to Mellewulfer. And a chance for the left winger, Sheldrup, to dance around one. Teases one in. Haaland! Oh, yes! For Norway! Erling Haaland commands the box, heads it home into the bottom corner past Alisson Becker, and Norway lead. They've never lost to Brazil, and they're 1-0 up in the 80th minute here.
What a goal from that man, Erling Haaland. You asked before, Speedy, about his movement or lack of, and I said just wait till he gets the balls into areas where he can sense that he can score, and he comes alive, and he does it again. Amazing. Norway, after repelling so many Brazilian chances, including a penalty, now take the lead with literally 15 minutes to go. And we said, once it gets past the 70th minute mark and you're not ahead, you've got to be very, very careful. And it's that substitute that was made at half-time, quite controversially in my opinion, for Nusa. Soldier cuts in on his right foot, plays the ball in, and if Haaland's got a run on you, it is so difficult to defend against. And makes no mistake, Norway have a huge opportunity here to knock out one of the favourites.
What a header as he got the wrong side of a crestfallen Gabriel. It's the Man City man getting the better of the gunner here for Norway. It's 6 goals in 4 World Cup games and 61 goals in 54 appearances for his country. The goal-scoring machine has turned up on the big occasion. Has Erling Haaland sunk Brazil? There's still time. 81st minute. Norway 1, Brazil 0. And they win it back. And Brazil's whole attitude has changed. They're throwing numbers forward. Could be vulnerable to Haaland on the counter-attack. He picks up the scraps here and causes havoc for Marquinhos, who just keeps it in. And he finds his teammate down the line. And Brazil get the relieving free kick as Haaland knocks over Marquinhos.
You know what I said before, Speedy, about Brazil being happy to sit back and control the game from a defensive perspective. It's to be interested to see if they concede one. You watch them now, because we are into the nervous 80s, if you like. And I tell you what a shock this would be. Although Brazil has never beaten Norway in a competitive fixture, this would still be a massive shock.
Beat them in the group stage at the 98 World Cup, did Norway, when Brazil rested players. Today it's first choice 11 against first choice 11, and Norway lead as Vinny Jr. drops the shoulder, wins a corner off Bob. And they won't be mucking around in taking this. Brazil chasing the game in the 82nd minute.
What a historic moment this would be for Norwegian football. Brazilian fans rightfully concerned now. The game should have been well and truly over. Nyland in goal for Norway has been outstanding. Ancelotti getting anxious as well. This is a huge 15 minutes.
Neymar on corner duty to swing it in from the left-hand side. Brazil's number 10 told to put the ball to overhang the quadrant. And he does. Moves it back a couple of centimetres. Moves in. Strikes the corner now. And Norway get a first head on it. It's going to go back out to the same side for another corner from Neymar. And that's a rallying cry you heard through the SEN effects microphone from Aya, who got the header away. Come on, boys, dig deep, he says. Neymar delivers again to the near post. And flicked away by Norway. Should be coming back, though, as Casemiro lets it run for the throw. Or does he? No, he keeps it in with a cheeky little touch. And whipped back in Haaland back helping out defensively. Heads it clear only as far as Neymar on the edge of the area. Ambles his way back in and teases his way around. Dances around too. But Berg got a touch and hooks it up the line. Vinny Jr. picks it up for Brazil. They're really squeezing in the attacking third here in search of the equaliser. Neymar. Oh, Vinny Jr. left it behind. And Bob takes it away. Counter-attack on as he sweeps it wide to Sheldrup, who's isolated one-on-one. He's 30 metres from goal. Cuts back in. Bob could play a 1-2. But he holds on to possession and goes back instead to Berg. Sheldrup back to Bob on the edge of the area. Haaland not in the picture. He's been helping out defensively. So they're waiting for big Erling Haaland to push forward. And now he's on the edge of the area as Norway recycle possession with the 1-0 lead. They're happy to keep it here.
Good play from Norway. Again, they broke. Had 3 versus 3. Realised nothing that was on. They've just kept possession. Now Brazil have got to break out of that mould of just sitting back because they know time's ticking away.
Going to go all the way back to their keeper, who's right in contention for the Man of the Match award. And Neelan goes long, looking for Haaland, not enough on it. Headed back down by Marquinhos, trying to make things happen, the captain. Keeps possession as he goes back to Danilo. And they are dancing, the Norwegian fans in the red shirts.
And good luck to them as well. Their first World Cup since 1998. Staring down that they could get to their furthest finish ever. The best they've ever finished is the round of 16, which was in that World Cup.
Here's a chance, though. Hendrick. Oh, it's deflected off the bar post. Neelan got back. Surely the man of the match as he tipped it onto the post. A looping deflection could have gone anywhere. And it's kept out by Norway. Just 85 minutes played. Back in again. And Aya heads clear. It's headed wide by Brazil to Vinny Jr. It comes back inboard. Chance here. Casemiro! Right across the face. Neelan gets another touch, does he?
I don't know about you, Speedy, and I've started to think this for quite some time now, since the Hendrick miss. Sometimes it's just not your day. And unfortunately for Brazil, it's looking that way at the moment.
Oh, Casemiro should have found Neymar for a tap-in. But he went somewhat aerially.
Now watch this. I think this is a save.
Absolutely it is.
Oh, unbelievable. He's having a game of his life.
And now he's staying down. And the referee just checking on his welfare, saying to Brazil, I'm adding this time on. But is there time for Brazil to force extra time? They trail 1-0, 86 minutes into the contest.
What a historic win this would be for Norway. And Nyland, obviously, former Aston Villa man as well. Claim that one, Speedy.
Well, the world will be doing the Viking row if Norway can knock off Brazil here. And they're going to take the throw. No touch off Neeland on the Casemiro cross. Ødegaard. What a game he's having. Dances his way out of trouble again. Combines with Berg. Now Sheldrup. Haaland cushions it out in front of Berg. And he races away. No teammates in the middle, so he buys time. Sheldrup overlaps. Berg comes inboard to Ødegaard. Good choice. He can go wider still to Ursnes, pushing on down the right. And Bob is just overlapping him now on the right-hand side. Ødegaard back inboard. Pushes into a nice little pocket. Drops it off to Berger. And back out on the right-hand side, about 30 metres from goal. Bob shows a trick, dances into the area. Ødegaard a chance. Onto his left peg. Dances to the outside, wins the corner for Norway.
Good play for Norway. Ødegaard revving up the crowd. They're not far away from one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. They continue to attack, continue to make Brazil run towards their own goal. They've had a plan for this game and it's worked pretty much to perfection. Although Brazil, understandably so, will be saying, look, we should have been up from the penalty. We should have finished some of our chances, and that's correct as well. But in terms of Norway, they're not far away from a historic win to take them as far as they've ever gone before in the World Cup.
And they went short. They didn't bother whipping it into the penalty box. They've gone all the way back to halfway for Hegem. And Sheldrick goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. So from a corner, they've kept possession, but they're all the way back on the edge of their own area for Nealon to now look forward towards Haaland. And he can't get on the end of it. It's gone from one goalkeeper to the other. And Allison bowls it out quickly for Brazil. 89th minute. There'll be significant stoppage time.
I was going to ask you that, Speedy. How long do you think?
8 minutes minimum.
Wow.
As Neymar goes down the line and Vinny Jr. pokes it back inboard. Danilo Santos just got there ahead of Haaland. He pokes it back to Marquinhos, and now they're inside the attacking half through Neymar, who's dropped really deep, looking for a killer ball, but he works it wide to Vinny Jr. And across came Ursnes. Last touch off Vinny Jr. Goal kick. Appeals for a corner or a foul, and he gets no joy, Vinny Jr.
Let's have a look. That save from Nyland. What a save. Onto the post.
Would have been a heartbreaking own goal, wouldn't it? Off a Norwegian defender.
Boy, you talk about goalkeeping performances at this World Cup. We've seen some brilliant ones.
Here's Haaland. And the shot. Oh, my goodness! Erling Haaland.
Unbelievable.
Has slotted it in the bottom corner for a famous double in the 90th minute. Norway lead 2-0 over Brazil.
And as their bench empties and runs towards the man, Erling Haaland, that, I'm afraid, is all she wrote. Game over. Erling Haaland with the 2 goals, and that was going nowhere as soon as he left his foot. And Brazil staring down the face of a round of 16 departure. But Norway, history makers. Unbelievable result.
Have you ever seen a goal like it? He just stood there 20 metres from goal, received the pass from Sheldrick as though he was going to do nothing. And then he controlled it with the right, took one touch with the left, and banged it across the face of Alisson, unerringly into the bottom corner with a famous left foot strike through the legs of the defender to make it 2-0. And he's joint top of the Golden Boot race with a certain Lionel Messi. And there's more games to come for Norway.
Superb. No chance for Becker. And well done to Norway. They knew they would have to defend and defend with their lives, which they did. But they also knew if they kept attacking, they would have their chances. And they knew if they got chances, they've got the very best in the world who's lethal. And again, he scored 2 goals. What an amazing record he has for club and country.
And it's 7 minutes of stoppage time that we enter. We might be adding to that after a significant celebration, understandably so for Norway, but surely not enough time for Brazil.
Well, you never know. You never say never in this game. But at the moment, in my opinion, it's highly unlikely.
Haaland now controls. His hair has come loose amongst all those celebrations. He's trying to get it all tied up as Norway might be a chance to score a third. Remember, if you joined us late, Brazil had an early spot kick. Surprisingly, somewhat, Guimarães stood up to take it and had it saved by Nealon, who now finally has a contender for man of the match because Erling Haaland has scored 2 famous goals up top. They've been 2 pillars at either end of the pitch for Norway as Brazil whip it into the area. It deflects wide to Vinny Jr. Can they set up a grandstand finish here? Danilo Santos headed off at the pass and wins it back off Haaland. Only briefly as he gives it back to Berg. And Norway with a chance to go forward here. Berg, they have to let him go, so he's up over halfway. Teammates not committing forward as Berg keeps possession stylishly. And he suffered the early heartbreak of having the ball in the net before it was ruled out for offside. That was in the opening 3 minutes as Norway signalled their intent in this fixture.
It was a warning shot, wasn't it? But Brazil have had chances, more than enough chances to have put this game to bed, and just goes to show the importance of being lethal and also the importance of having a great goalkeeper. Nyland has been absolutely phenomenal in this game. But this will be a disaster for Brazil.
Neymar whips it wide. And into the area it goes. Norway deal with that threat all the way through to Ursnes to hook upfield. And they don't commit anyone forward. Becker able to come 40 metres from goal and head it back into the attacking half for Danilo Santos. Goes quickly to the feet of Neymar. He helped it on to no one in particular. And we're 93 minutes into the contest. Erling Haaland trying to encourage teammates to push out a little after his famous brace. 62 goals in 54 caps for his country. 7 goals in this World Cup. And remember, he missed the game when Norway put out their second 11, happy with a runner-up finish behind France in their group. Shot goes in towards goal, blocked at close range. Now Danilo Santos, poor touch, and it'll be last touch off him, out for a goal kick to Norway.
Not far away now, Norway. And again, remember I said to you about opening your legs? Makes it so difficult for the goalkeeper. Rather than do that, say to defenders, just stay on one side of the shooter, keep your legs closed, and I'll be on the other side. So if it goes to my side, that's for me. If it goes the other side, it's going to hit your legs. You open your legs, you open up options for the striker. But that man, joint top scorer now, staring at taking Norway to the greatest World Cup ever. The last time they were at this event was in 1998. They got to the final 16. They've never been further than the final 16. They'll be in the quarterfinals and play the winner of Mexico versus England.
Could it be Erling Haaland against England in a quarterfinal later this week as Ødegaard dances his way out of trouble again and puts it out in front of Bob on the right-hand side. He brings it back. And now Ødegaard gets another touch in the attacking third, keeping it away from Neymar with the quick feet. Went back to Ursnes, and they keep it on this right-hand side. Another little backheel from Ødegaard, rolling his man, Berger, into the area. He goes across the face of goal. Brazil with numbers back, defending inside their own area to keep out a third. As Norway again keep it alive through the impressive Berg and Bob and Berger and Ødegaard, and he wins a foul. Tripped up by Neymar, his opposite number, and Neymar, he's flashed a yellow card. Kicking both heels of Ødegaard. That's frustration from Neymar, who came off the bench for the last quarter of the game, and that's when the goals have come for Norway.
The backlash from the Brazilian supporters and the media is going to be absolutely severe. But well done to that man there. Just goes to show you've got a goalkeeper playing brilliantly in tournament football and a striker who's lethal, what you can achieve.
What about the three names vying for the Golden Boot, all on 7 goals? Mbappe, Messi and Haaland.
Well, a lot of people, including me, thought that Haaland would get up there, but his World Cup would end today. But it hasn't. On they go.
As Ødegaard eventually takes that free kick. Quite the stoppage. So we'll be at the referee's discretion pretty soon as it threatens to boil over here. Neymar could be sent off if he keeps up these antics already in the book. Vinny Jr. now getting in the face of the assistant referee. He's got to be careful as well. And Brazil could be going out of the tournament in disgrace if they're not careful.
Because obviously they know they're upset. But Norwegian players now has got to think forward, don't do anything silly. Don't want to get a red card or a second or even a yellow that's going to rule you out in the quarterfinals. They're going on.
The referee might be looking for a quick full-time whistle here. We're about to tick past 97 minutes. 7 minutes is the minimum amount of stoppage time being added. Brazil about to take a throw-in, and the referee gives the all clear for that. How much more time will he play? Norway 2, Brazil 0 for Valvoline, the original engine oil. A diagonal launched long. Lands on the edge of the area. Norway get ahead on it again. How often have we said that? And Bob tried to release Berg down the left-hand side. Little shove. The defender gives Brazil a late set piece about 40 metres from goal. It's not to be for Brazil, and Carlo Ancelotti is probably reflecting on his choice of penalty taker. If it was up to him, Guimarães in the first half. Oh, that's an elbow. That's a penalty. Brazil get a late spot kick.
That's a penalty.
And I think it's the right call. Elbow connects with cheek, and it was unnecessary elbow Was it the substitute Ostigard who caught the head of Casemiro? And when he recovers, Brazil will be taking their second spot kick of the game, and I don't think a midfielder will be taking it.
He called it straight away. Yeah, straight in his face. Right decision. Look, unnecessary, like you said, Speedy.
And the first contact was elbow on the head of Casemiro before he won the header. So this should stand. How much more time will there be if Brazil can score from the spot this time against Nederland?
Well, by the rules, you should allow another minute for a goal.
No, he did. He gestured showing what happened to give the spot kick. He nearly elbowed the keeper in the face, the referee.
Nearly elbowed Aya, yeah? That's a penalty. I'm sorry. Bang.
Yeah, Ostigard, who just came into the game about 2 minutes ago, has given away a spot kick to Brazil. Will it be a consolation goal or will it set up a grandstand finish? We're in the 89th minute now, and Neymar, who scored the penalty that gave Brazil their long-awaited gold medal at Olympic level at the Maracanã. I was lucky enough to be there that day, Bozza, when Brazil was singing and crying in the stands, and they're crying different tears today as their team trails 2-0, but they've got some sort of lifeline here. Neymar just chirping at the goalkeeper, saying, can you keep this one out? How about you get on your line? Some Brazilian fans can hardly watch.
If it does go in, just watch for the scramble for the ball.
We're in the 100th minute now. It's Neymar against Nederland. Neymar with 79 goals for his country. It's a slow, measured approach. Another stutter and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. He froze him, in fact. And he makes it Norway 2, Brazil 1. How much more time is there?
This will be the big thing now. I've got a feeling he's going to blow as soon as the kickoff does, but here we go. Starter there. But he just has his eye on the goalkeeper, peripheral vision. As soon as the goalkeeper doesn't move, he just plants it in Nyland's left-hand corner. Same side that he saved in the first half.
It's unfortunate that Nederland doesn't get a clean sheet, but he should be man of the match, shouldn't he? Or does Haaland steal that?
Well, the match is not over just yet, but 100%, he's got to be up there. I mean, Haaland will probably get it because of his 2 goals, but I tell you what, Nyland, absolutely amazing. Norway, I reckon, would just smash this right in the corner.
And they're being encouraged to kick off here. Ødegaard and Neymar going at it. And the referee is trying to explain what's going on here. Cut out the nonsense, he says. Marquinhos is saying, give us 1 minute. And the referee has probably told them that there's only seconds left and the full-time whistle is imminent. Norway kick off. Full-time whistle about to sound. Is it? Brazil are saying, what's going on here? The ref is saying, let's kick off again.
Well, there should be another minute. Like I said, for a goal, it should be a minute.
But not if time had basically elapsed before Casemiro won the penalty. Norway kick off again. We're at the referee's discretion. They go back to their goalkeeper. Nederland launches it high. Still no full-time whistle. Neymar won possession. Went to Casemiro. Looks for a killer ball. Casemiro picks up the scraps. Whipped into the area. And Nederland takes it on the chest. And he should have the final touch, should he? Norway 2, Brazil 1. 112th minute now as he launches it long to Haaland. And he goes under the ball. Marquinhos heads it down to his own advantage. And they've done it again. Norway still unbeaten against Brazil. And they're into the quarterfinals after a monumental upset in New Jersey. Erling Haaland with a priceless double as Norway beat Brazil 2-1 to book their spot against either England or Mexico in the last 8.
What an amazing victory. What an amazing day for Norwegian football. That man, the manager, got it absolutely spot on again. He was questioned after resting so many players in that final group game, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Once again today as well, Nusa, his best player in the first half, takes him off at half-time, to a lot of people's shock, including myself. But the man he brings on for him, shoulder drop, provides the wonderful cross for Haaland to score the first goal, and then adds a wonderful second, which in the end proved vital. And that man there, Nyland, who's clubless at the moment, ex-Aston Villa man, played the game of his life. Family there of the manager, Solbakken, in tears. This is truly magnificent. It's one of the greatest wins in World Cup footballing history. You can see the tears as well for Erling Haaland. What a day. And there'll be also plenty of tears and a massive inquisition from the Brazilian side. They should never have lost this game. They shouldn't have been in the position where when Haaland scored, they were going to be put under this type of pressure. They should have been well ahead by then. And they'll rue missed chances, no more so than Guimarães and the penalty. And questions will be asked as well about the tactics they employed to sit off Norway and just to hit them on the break. But it's all over now. Norway, for the first time in their history, are through to the quarterfinals of a World Cup.
Their golden generation has delivered. Ødegaard in midfield. Erling Haaland up top. And they starred today against Brazil. The age demographic of these two teams. Norway with the youth. So many players in their 20s. Brazil, so many players 30 and over. And it was a difference maker today. Norway dominated possession and had the killer up top. Erling Haaland, who now has 7 goals. He didn't play in the final group game. So he's only played the 4 World Cup games and he's got 7 goals. He's got 2 against Iraq, 2 against Senegal, and another 86-minute winner against the Ivory Coast in the previous round. And he scores in the 79th minute and 90th minute against Brazil, the 2nd goal. And when you get the chance to check out the highlights, it's quite phenomenal the way he scored that from outside the area from pretty much a standing start. Fired it past Alisson Becker, the Liverpool shot stopper, who didn't stand a chance. So Norway are through 2-1 over Brazil. So many highlights to get to as well. Let's hear some now of the big moments in this game, as we called it on SEN. If we have those to go to, Erling Haaland, very much the star of the show with that second half double before the late consolation penalty from Neymar. Here's how we called it on SEN. Brazilian fans have already counted this one, but it still has to be scored. Guimarães, stuttering approach, and the keeper saves it. Nearline for Norway is the hero right now. It's a terrible penalty, and you wonder why. Guimarães takes it, and not one of the 4 attackers. And he tried to thread one through the legs of Casemiro, who wins it back and slides it to Vinny Jr. Lovely move, and he slips it through. The super sub, Endrick, pokes it away, misses. He's upended, and it's a goal kick, and Endrick, 1 minute after coming on, could have put his name up in lights after beautiful build-up play. And Brazil pick up the ball eventually. Whip back in towards the back posts, and the header back across the face of goal. Oh, the shots! And it almost wrong-footed Nearline, who kept it out from Rayan. And Brazil threaten again.
Great save again from Nyland.
As Hegem drops it off to Müller-Wülfer. And a chance for the left winger, Sheldrick, to dance around one. Teases one in. Haaland! Oh, yes! For Norway! Erling Haaland commands the box, heads it home into the bottom corner past Alisson Becker, and Norway lead. They've never lost to Brazil, and they're 1-0 up in the 80th minute here. Here's Haaland, and the shot, oh my goodness! Erling Haaland,
unbelievable,
has slotted it in the bottom corner for a famous double in the 90th minute. Norway lead 2-0 over Brazil.
And as their bench empties and runs towards the man Erling Haaland, that, I'm afraid, is all she wrote. Game up.
And that's where we'll pause the highlights, because Bozza, are you in the seated position? Of course you are. It's time for the Viking row.
Well, they deserve it. Every moment.
And Ødegaard, the captain of Norway, is conducting. He's telling the Norwegian fans it's time to sit down. Time to get into the seated position in the rowing machine, and he's inviting Erling Haaland out. He's handed over the drumsticks.
These are great moments.
And he said, this is your moment to lead the Viking row that is being copied all around the world. Back home in Norway at the schools, they're engaging in this as well. And stand by.
Oh, fair play to them. It's arguably the most famous victory in Norwegian football history. What a moment. First World Cup for 28 years.
And he's milking it beautifully. Haaland has them seated. Let's calm down, he says. Calm down. Are you ready? Waiting for the drum to be beaten here. We have the Viking clap with Iceland. Now we have the Viking row with Norway. Row. They were outnumbered in the stands today by those in gold, but they are making their presence known now.
Forget that, Speedy. I want to hear you do the roar again. Go on.
Row.
This is one of the highlights of the World Cup. And one of the highlights of the World Cup as well as you doing that, Speedy.
Row. 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 You got every timing, Bozza. Oh, yeah.
Very
Party
good.
time in Norway and in New Jersey.
What a day. What a day for Norway. Just goes to show you the impossible can happen if you believe enough. If you've got brilliant players and if you handle it in the right manner, like Solbakken has the manager, this is the end result. Amazing times. And I tell you what, Mexico or England will hold no fears for Norway after this. It's another great thing about this win. I'll be thinking if we can beat Brazil, we can beat anyone.
So Nilan is listed as a Sevilla player, but he's unattached at the moment, you're saying,
No,
Bozza?
yeah, he's been released. And there's Erling Haaland's father, Alfie Inge Haaland, who's in a brilliant mood, and fair play to him. He was a good player in his day, played against him. But I tell you what, I'm sorry, Alfie, but your son is, as a decent player that you were, your son's on a different level, and he'll be happy with that.
And
amazing scenes.
You dance to this in the nightclubs as well. A bit of aha being sung along to by the Norwegians.
Nah, this is not for the B-man.
Well, let's take a break. It's Norway 2, Brazil 1, and so much to dissect after this on SEN.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Say yes to proudly showing up for your country and then losing your dignity on the dance floor. It's the Australian way. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, IDD.
Installerine, Installerine, Installerine.
For the hottest of hot party you've ever seen. Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Ream's been proudly manufacturing here in Australia for over 80 years.
Installerine,
Installerine,
Installerine.
So ask your plumber for Ream, Australia's #1.
Blitz into Chemist Warehouse for the end of financial year Blitz and get half price off the Nature's Own range. Pick up glucosamine sulfate 400 tabs for just $24.99. Bump up your B12 with B12 Nature's Own 1000 microgram 120 tabs, $14.74. Make your self-care routine even better with ashwagandha plus 60 tabs, $14.99. And complete the set with Complete Sleep Advance 40 tabs, $19.74. Care for yourself and your bank account with the Chemist Warehouse end of financial year Blitz. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
When you drive an Isuzu D-Max, you'll find adventure is everywhere. With up to 3.5-tonne towing capacity and 2.2 or 3-litre engine options across the D-Max range, you're sorted. Anytime, any task. Since 2008, thousands of Aussies have relied on their Isuzu D-Max to go their own way. And they'll tell you, adventure is everywhere. Go find yours in the Isuzu D-Max. Visit your Isuzu Ute dealer today.
Footy's better at the pub with the Big Footy Score Scratch and Win. Download the Pub Plus app and head to your local Pub Plus venue on game days for a chance to score over $500,000 prizes, including a footy trip to Vegas. Why watch from the couch when you could be winning? Download the Pub Plus app today. Oz residents 18 plus, 1 entry per transaction. See bigfootyscore.com.au for TCs, permits and participating venues. Drink responsibly.
Visit the E&S Clearance Outlet in Clayton now and get premium home appliances at the lowest prices. We have a huge range of factory seconds, scratch and dent, X-Display and run-out models. You can save up to an incredible 70% off the biggest kitchen, bathroom and laundry brands like Bosch, AEG, Fisher & Paykel, LG and Siemens. Our consultants are home appliance experts and we won't be beaten on price. So visit the E&S Clearance Outlet in Clayton and get value the E&S way.
It's official. 3 of Australia's biggest players, Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo, all declared Host Plus the best super fund winner. That's 3 big wins for your super. 3 from 3. That's a plus. Awards and ratings are only one factor to consider. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. General advice only. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Search Compare Host Plus today.
Yes to turning into a Socceroo girl at the pub. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, I'm Dee. Woo! Woo!
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This with the global game.
Great to have your company on the post-match wrap. Thanks to Allianz Australia. Adam Peacock here, Brenton Speed and Mark Bosnich still here as well. Allianz official insurance partner of Football Australia. And Keno Go, kick-off soccer season with Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app for your chance to win. Both broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026. Well, Keno Go, it's Brazil go. They're gone. Brazil out. The greatest moment in Norwegian football history arguably has just happened. Norway through to a quarter-final where they'll play Miami in. They'll play in Miami in 6 days' time.
Play against Miami, new entrant into the World Cup. There we go.
Well, they'll play against Mexico or England. Bozza and Speedy. Bozza, your overriding thoughts on the way Norway was able to unsettle Brazil and get a result. Obviously off the back of some great goalkeeping, some great finishing, and overall a great plan.
Well, a wonderful tournament knockout game strategy. They realised going into it that Brazil were the better team, but I don't think that they quite would have taken into account how much Brazil would let them have possession. That was that's going to be questioned a lot, especially in the Brazilian media. And they realised as well that the goalkeeper would have to play fantastically well. He did. But when you've got someone like Erling Haaland and you've got people like Nusra and you've got the Solderdrop who came on who can provide, an Odegaard who will provide him with chances, he only needs one chance, one goal. I would say normally for the rest of the people, 2 chances, 2 goals. But that's 62 goals for Norway in 54 appearances. And when you've got someone like that in a knockout situation and your goalkeeper's playing well, you're always a chance. And I tell you what, Mexico or England, whoever does win that game that will start in about an hour and a half, they will hold no fears for this Norwegian side. It's their first foray in World Cup history into the quarterfinals. They've got as good a striker as anywhere in the world. The goalkeeper was outstanding. There were some other good performers as well. Berg in midfield was excellent. But when you've got people at both ends of the pitch, you can control a game in between the 2 boxes, but games are decided in the boxes. What does that mean? Great strikers, great players scoring great goals, great goalkeepers making great saves, or vice versa. from the Brazilian perspective. Strikers missing chances they should score. Goalkeepers making mistakes that they shouldn't make. That wasn't the case of Alisson, but the first one was they had enough chances to win that game and to be well ahead by the time Haaland had put Norway up. So well done to them. Commiserations to Brazil. Like I said, the recriminations will start, but it's Norway's time. What a win, and what a win for those supporters as well. Wasn't that wonderful, that rowing thing they did? We even got Brenton Speed. I think we should get Brenton Speed over to America just in case they beat Mexico or England, because he conducted the row here live on SEN radio.
Well, I actually think Speedy can go over to New York right now, and I think the Norwegians are actually going to row down the Atlantic coast from New York down to Miami for this quarterfinal, which would be fantastic. We've got our expert commentator here, Mark Bosnich. Thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more money at Chemist Warehouse as part of this post-game show. And Speedy's still there as well. And Speedy, you mentioned in the call you were there for one of Brazilian football's most or greatest moments in recent times with the Olympic gold medal. I was there for one of their most heart-wrenching times when they got absolutely destroyed by Germany 7-1 in a World Cup semi-final. But this, I mean, I don't know if they do what they did in 2014 and put the front page of the big paper over there, just a black page, and everyone gets 0 for the ratings. But they're going to go after their team, and probably Ancelotti as well.
And isn't history amazing? Brazil, the most successful country in World Cup history, lifting the trophy 5 times, most recently in 2002. But against Norway, they're yet to beat them. The record now for Norway in 5 fixtures against Brazil, 3 wins and 2 draws. They drew with them first up in 1988. They beat them 4-2 in 97 in the lead up to France 98. Then they drew them in the group stage in 98. Brazil were through top of the group. They rested their players for the group game. Norway won that 2-1. Another friendly in 2006, 1-1. And today, famously in New Jersey, New York, they beat them 2-1 with a spectacular brace from Erling Haaland, and they've just sung New York, New York with great gusto post the row conducted by Erling Haaland as well. So special times for the fans who've gathered in great numbers in the red shirts today for Norway.
Bozza, big moment of the match thanks to Liquorland. What can you define as the number one big moment of the match? The penalty save?
No. Nyland's save off his own play. I think it was Ayer. That would look as though it was going to be an own goal. Yeah. For him to get back like he did in such athletic fashion and to tip it onto the post, that was absolutely crucial because, like I said, he had the look of a goalkeeper that was going to be unbeatable. But when things like that happen, you can't really legislate for that. But that just added to the angst with Brazil. And you could tell with some of the Brazilian players, they had to look at themselves like, what do we have to do to beat this guy? Even off his own people now. Because Brazil take the lead there, or even through Endrick when he come on, it's over. It's pretty much over. So it's definitely got to be that moment. That was an outstanding save. That was as good a save as any in the tournament. I thought before today, Patrick Beach's save right at the end against Egypt was the save of the tournament. Well, Nyland's is up there, and even though it came from his own player.
Well, let's have a listen to it right now, how Speedy called it.
Here's a chance, though. Endrick. Oh, it's deflected off the bar post. Nealon got back, surely the man of the match as he tipped it onto the post. A looping deflection, could have gone anywhere, and it's kept out by Norway.
And that was, Potter spotted it straight away, and it was a beautiful touch onto the post, and it was fantastic work from Nealon there.
Now, don't get me wrong, Adam. Sorry to interrupt you, but don't get me wrong, and I've got to be honest here. I have got a good eye, and I did think it was a save, but I have had times in the past where I've gone, brilliant save, and then we've gone to the replay, and the goalie's missed it by a metre. So I got that one right.
Not that time. That was the big moment from today's game, thanks to Liquorland Game On Drink Sorted, legendary Liquorland. Boz, just in a general sense, Brazil, I felt coming into this tournament, they were unconvincing. Nothing convinced me about the group stages. I know you fancied them to go further.
I did.
What was missing for them?
I think it was a general, in the previous games, not too much. And I tipped France early doors, but I said before the tournament, because I had a look at the teams that could win it, and Brazil was one of the teams that could win it, I'm going to go for them. Okay? I thought with the draw, I think they would have played Argentina in the semi-finals. In general, in the games that they've had, not a great deal. I thought they created enough chances. They won their, they won 2 of their 3 group games. and obviously drew with Morocco. We know Morocco is a very, very good team. But the finishing touch was one thing. I mean, Erling Haaland really underlined that. They created so many chances that they just couldn't finish. But the other thing, and I'm sure, like I said, the Brazilian newspapers and media will focus on this as much. I don't think that they should have sat off Norway as much as they did. Okay, I can understand they were trying to control the game defensive-wise. I understood what they were trying to do. And in all honesty, they scored a penalty and they scored at least one of those chances they had. You would say it was working. It was working, but the only thing it wasn't working on was the scoreboard. So sitting off a team when you've got that type of talent just goes to show that, again, it's a very big risk to go a little bit defensive. As great a manager as Ancelotti is and has been, he tried to identify what their strengths were. Sometimes, like I said, if you don't put your chances away, even the best will and the best tactics in the world don't help you. Yeah, because if they had won, people would have lauded him as a genius. They didn't. But that, for me, was missing. And again, look at the Japanese game. They went 1-0 down, but they came up against a goalkeeper in Suzuki who was absolutely outstanding. And they got it in the end. But they had enough chances to win that game quite comfortably as well. But this one, the big question will be, why sitting off? So why surrender possession so much? We've got better players, man for man, than Norway. There was no need to do that. And I think they paid Norway a little bit too much respect, although I understand the theory behind it.
A goal of the match. So one of Haaland's, no doubt. So is it the first one where he for a split second, he gets into the blind side of Gabriel and then just burns him by getting to that header, getting to that cross first? Or is it the one where he just stands everyone up and just picks his spot? And Alisson, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the world and hard to beat because he's so big, just unsavable for him. Which one, guys?
I'm going to go for the second one because that was just a thunderstrike. That's all. I mean, the first one was great, don't get me wrong. It was funny because Speedy was saying just beforehand, Boz, he's not really making runs. I said, well, he doesn't do that. He's one of the, he's, for me, the number one goal scorer in the world. He's also, he's expert at putting the opposition defence to sleep, like to get him to think, and that's the oldest trick in the book. Strikers used to tell me they did it on purpose, to basically just walk around for a bit and just the defenders start to think, well, I'm absolutely fine here. All of a sudden it goes in a position where they sense they can score and they explode. And that's what happened with the first goal. And fair play to the manager as well. I was critical of the Norwegian manager because I thought Nusra in the first half was Norway's best players, one of the best players on the pitch, the RB Leipzig man. He takes him off at half-time and brings in the Benfica man, Sheldrop. And he was outstanding second half. Theory behind that, I would say, Nusra had to go a million miles an hour in that first half and try to, fatigue Danilo as much as you can and leave it open for shoulder drop, to do what he did. Great cross in and super header. But for me, like I said, because of the emotion of the moment and pretty much that was it, that second goal was just it was awesome.
Here's that moment, thanks to Valvoline.
Would have been a heartbreaking own goal, wouldn't it? Off a Norwegian defender.
Boy, you talk about goalkeeping performances at this World Cup. We've seen some brilliant ones.
Here's Haaland. And the shot. Oh, my goodness. Erling Haaland.
Unbelievable.
Has slotted it in the bottom corner for a famous double in the 90th minute. Norway lead 2-0 over Brazil.
And as their bench empties and runs towards the man, Erling Haaland, that, I'm afraid, is all she wrote. Game over. Erling Haaland with the 2 goals. And that was going nowhere as soon as he left his foot. And Brazil staring down the face of a round of 16 departure. But Norway, history makers.
Yeah, so brilliant call, boys. 7 apiece. Messi, Mbappe, Haaland for the Golden Boot Award at this World Cup. It's the land of the celebrity, guys. It's the land of the celebrity footballer at this World Cup, which is what we wanted. Who wins that Golden Boot, just quickly, for both of you?
Oh, I'm going to go Mbappe.
Yeah?
I'll go Haaland. Norway to go deep, maybe get a third-place playoff, and he'll play in that one and win the Golden Boot with 5.
I'll get a couple of cheapies in the third place.
So you're saying Norway's going to beat
England
Mexico
or Mexico?
Or England?
Yeah,
wow.
in Miami. Yeah.
All right, then we'll have a gentleman's agreement with that. We won't have a bet. Bozza doesn't like to bet. We'll have a gentleman's bet. Yeah, so for what that means for everyone is that there's no money whatsoever involved. But the next time I see Speedy, I can punch him in the arm. That's all if I win.
And they're both out of the same group, of course, France and Norway. Norway were happy to say, you can win the group, we'll go the other path. And they've beaten Ivory Coast, and now they've beaten Brazil.
Yep.
Well, that right there, violence between Speedy and Bozza might actually be did you see that moment? SEN says yes to going out after the game with Diddy. Cheap trick trips so you can do more. Diddy, broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026. Just joking, we've all as one here on the SEN coverage. And the Global Game post-match wrap continues after the break thanks to Allianz Australia, official insurance partner of Football Australia, broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026. More to come. The 3-2-1s. A little look ahead to England and Mexico. Apparently is dumping down in Mexico City right now, so hopefully that game does start at 10 a.m. Eastern. Plenty more on the way. You're with SEN's coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026, which now doesn't include Brazil. They are out to Norway.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
G'day, it's Archie Thompson here. All eyes right now are on the greatest tournament in the world. And so many stars are steering towards goal, aiming for glory. One team to make sure you keep your eye on is Tyre Power. They always deliver a winning formation like their world-famous 4-for-3 offer.
During Tyre Power's winter safety sale, get 4 for 3 on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres, the equivalent of 25% off.
To score a winning goal on family value and safety, you can't go past your tyre experts at Tyre Power. Find your local at tyrepower.com.au.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Right now, you can get 3K off select model year 26.5 Rangers. Plus, you'll also get the first 5 general services free at participating Ford dealers now. Visit Ford.com.au for details.
Say yes to tackling a couple of soccerooners at your local after the match. You get it, soccerooners, schooners. It sounds like schooners. Anyway, say yes to going out after the game. Say yes. IDD.
Audio. It's more powerful than you think. What you hear can take you far from here. It can move you to dance, to run, to tears. It's all in your ears. For advertising with the power to make your whole campaign work harder, start with commercial radio and audio, where brands are heard. CRA.au.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
The 40 Winks Mates Rate sale is on now. Mates Rates? Yep. By signing up as a 40 Winks member, you have access to up to 50% off mattresses and up to 30% off furniture.
Sounds like 40 Winks has our back.
They sure do. 40 Winks has the best range of brands now available at Mates Rates for 40 Winks members. Better yet, it's free to join. With over 100 locally owned and operated stores Australia-wide. Check out the sale online or visit your local 40 Winks team today.
Hurry! Mates Rate sale ends Sunday. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply.
40 Winks. Serious about sleep.
Hidden Gems of Melbourne. Prince Wine Store in Bank Street, South Melbourne. Wine Enthusiast magazine has voted Prince Wine Store in the top 10 iconic wine stores in the world. The only store in the Southern Hemisphere to be chosen. Up to 4,000 wine lines, all wine regions of the world, from $10 to $10,000. You'll find the perfect wine at Prince Wine Store, bringing Melburnians the greatest wine in the world. Delivering Australia-wide, princewinestore.com.au.
Blitz into Chemist Warehouse for the end of financial year blitz and get half price off the Nature's Own range. Pick up glucosamine sulfate 400 tabs for just $24.99. Bump up your B12 with B12 Nature's Own 1000 microgram 120 tabs, $14.74. Make your self-care routine even better with ashwagandha plus 60 tabs, $14.99. And complete the set with Complete Sleep Advance 40 tabs, $19.74. Care for yourself and your bank account with the Chemist Warehouse end of financial year blitz. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
RJ Sanderson and Associates. Taxation, business and self-managed super fund specialists. Take the stress out of tax and get your complimentary 2026 tax tips from rjsanderson.com.au.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the Global Game.
Yeah, welcome back to the Global Game post-match wrap. Thanks to Allianz Australia, official insurance partner of Football Australia, and Keno Go. Kick off soccer season with Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app for your chance to win. Bretton Speed is still here. Mark Bosnich has just ducked off because he's got commitments with Breakfast Radio across the SEN network. They all want to know what the hell happened to Brazil this morning. They are out. One of the biggest shocks, if not the biggest shock, along with Germany going out to Paraguay at this World Cup so far. The greatest moment in Norwegian football history with a 2-1 success over Brazil in New York to set up a quarterfinal with Mexico or England in Miami in 6 days' time. So Speedy's still with us. And Speedy, chuck in your 3-2-1s, if you will, from what we've just seen. Hard choice between the goalkeeper and the Viking King up front.
Yeah, they're going to feature in the 3-2-1. I'm going to give one vote to the captain. I know you were keen on Berg, but I think Ødegaard deserves to be in the votes as well. So the Norwegian captain with one vote. Erling Haaland, 2 goals, 2 votes. A spectacular brace, but they wouldn't have been in the contest if not for the work of the goalkeeper, Nielsen, who saved a spot kick from your man, Guimaraes. And he also made 3 or 4 other spectacular saves to keep a clean sheet until the 100th minute when a consolation penalty was slotted away by Neymar. He deserved a clean sheet, didn't get it in the end, but he gets the 3 votes.
The overcomplication of penalty takers' run-ups is a scourge on the game of football at the moment because you know how I feel about short run-ups, Speedy, and momentum killers with run-ups. Bruno basically, he almost started moving backwards halfway through his run-up there for that penalty. I just don't understand why you'd let the keeper or give the keeper a little more time in which way your body shape is. Like, just run in and hit it. I don't understand it, Speedy.
In a corner. A bottom corner is pretty comfortable. I don't know why a right footer doesn't go bottom left corner. A keeper can't keep it out if you slot it there. Really strange what's going on. The pressure of spot kicks, but normally he's burying them for your Newcastle United, yeah?
Yeah, he is. He's like off the top of my head, it was a bit of a blur of a season for Newcastle United, but I can't remember him missing too many big ones, if any at all, in the past 24 months. And been playing Champions League football, cutthroat cup games as well. But yeah, he'll that'll hurt for him. He's such a great guy, and all of Brazil will be hurting right now because they do feel their rightful place at a World Cup is a semi-final onwards, and it hasn't happened since 2014. And there will be recriminations. They thought they had the right guy in charge. They thought that let's do something different and get one of the greatest club managers of all time in. Even he hasn't been able to fix it, and I just felt they were a little. They could be got at easily.
Yeah, you saw that in the Morocco game, first group game. Morocco played them off the pitch, and Brazil were lucky to get a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, so anyway, they are out, and Norway, as mentioned, through Mexico and England. Speedy, you've had a big morning, so I'll let you go, mate. Thank you for, again, a great call, very exciting stuff. And when's your next assignment, do you know?
I'll be back on Saturday morning. So looking forward to that. Not sure which fixture that correlates to, but I'll be researching that hard for SEN when I find out.
That would be, it could be that one again. It could be
these guys.
Norway.
Could be Norway?
Yeah.
Against England or Mexico?
Yes, 12th of, unless I got my dates wrong. No, that's the Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 days, that's Sunday, yeah. So I'm talking 5 days. So maybe someone involved yesterday. Maybe France?
Oh, no, you're looking at Portugal, Spain, winner of Portugal, Spain and USA, Belgium. Isn't it great that USA have got their striker? I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, Balogun. Suspended sentence for he'll serve 1 game later on, maybe in a friendly against Haiti or something next year, but he'll be available for the round of 16 encounter for the United States, and that's a good thing.
Not sure how it happened though, Speedy, because there is much reporting, as you were busy calling the game, but reports are emerging that the White House intervened in all of this. Now, anyway, we might
as the memes are saying, he's played his trump card to negate the red card. And there was another meme showing a reverse being held up by Balogun to the red card of the referee on that occasion.
Speedy, let you go. Hopefully you've got some kind of tea time lined up later today or something on, but great call, mate.
Got to get to Wimbledon, mate. Got to get to Wimbledon.
Get to Wimbledon, of course. You're on deck with Wimbledon, so enjoy that. Good stuff.
Good
Thank
on
you. We've got a hot take. It's for Boz's hot take, but I'm going to step in for that. Paul Sebastiani's joining us right now. Paul, you there, mate?
I am indeed. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, everybody. We've got plenty going on, not just out of this game, but the England-Mexico game. The mail is from Rob Dorset at Sky that this game is almost certain to be delayed, which is a bit of a shame. We were just chatting off air that they may have or should have probably moved that game a little earlier.
Yeah, well, the rumour was that they were going to put it before the Norway Brazil game, but they didn't want. I don't know what they were doing, because they were thinking, we didn't want them to overlap. And it was, well, guys, it's not that hard. We had a 6 a.m. kickoff here for Brazil-Norway. Put that game at 3 a.m. and you might be okay. Anyway, it is absolutely hosing down in Mexico City right now. I've seen some of the images. So if you're banking on a 10 a.m. kickoff for that one, I wouldn't lock it in, put it that way. We could be going a little later for that one, Mexico-England. So we'll wait and see. Paul, I have had contact with people over in England. The pubs have been granted a licence until 5 a.m. over there. So it's a 1 a.m. kickoff in London town. I can't imagine the state of some of those joints if that kickoff gets delayed and put back. It's going to be a bit difficult. Just before we move on, we might go the hot take. Boys, should we intro this in kind?
Let's go.
The World Cup, according to Mark Bosnich. This is Boz's take. Thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions and save more money at Chemist Warehouse. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Well, Bozza, as mentioned, he's off doing some breakfast radio across the SEN network at the moment. So, Paul, I'm going to step in for the hot take. My hot take is that the Norwegian manager probably, if it got to a penalty shootout, wouldn't have substituted his goalkeeper.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's very, very fair. There's a nice little whack to Popper.
Well, it's not a whack. I'm just looking at it from a Norwegian perspective, saying that your goalkeeper is your man of the match. And he's, look, a different set of circumstances, because Neelan had actually saved a penalty off Bruno Guimaraes earlier in that game. So he had saved a penalty. He would have stayed there for the penalty shootout.
I think it's fair. That's a great take. It's a great angle on it. That's a great angle to it, Adam. I like it.
I still haven't let it go from the weekend. It's going to take a while.
He had his eye in. He had the eye in. He had the form up. You don't, as Brenton pointed out, you don't sub off the hot hand.
Exactly. So that was Boz's hot take, delivered by myself, Adam Peacock. Thanks to 4 and 20 Pies. The classic taste of 100% Australian meat and delicious gravy wrapped in golden pastry. I want one right now. And they are proud sponsors of SEN's coverage of FIFA World Cup 2026. Paul, just before we get some odds from sports bets, Portugal-Spain is our game of the day tomorrow. It's a 5 a.m. kickoff, but well worth getting up for. I've got Spain in this one. Like Brazil, I haven't been convinced by the Portuguese, but the Portuguese have got enough world-class players to cause Spain some issues. A brilliant contest in waiting.
And I get an inkling the Iberian rivalry might just gear up Portugal an extra level or two if they haven't been already in this World Cup. But Spain's play, in general play, has been absolutely sensational, and the way in which they've progressed through the phases has been exemplary so far, and they might have just snuck under the radar of a few, Adam.
Yeah, I think it was down to the fact that they drew their first game. They kind of, it's almost like they blended into the tournament rather than hit the ground running. And you don't really want to hit the ground running because it's a long tournament with players who've come off a long season. But their 3-0 win over Austria in LA a couple of days ago was Yeah, that was the rattle up. I think the rest of the competition realised that Spain was very much hitting top gear as we sit here right now. And the day's other game is actually a 10 a.m. kickoff our time, so beautiful timing for us. It's USA-Belgium. And the Belgians, by the way, Paul, are blowing up the Lux that Balogun has been given the all-clear to play in that game despite the red card in their last game, that win over Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And rightfully so, too. Rightfully so, I say. Yeah, the old trump card got played, as Brent pointed out.
Big style. Anyway, let's get some odds. Sportsbet, Sam Phillips.
Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup.
Chances are you're about to lose.
And Sammy, you there, mate?
Yes, morning, boys. Lots of money for Mexico in this next game. They've been sort of $3.20, $3.30 into the $3.05. That's, of course, to win during regular time plus injury time. Bit of money for the draw as well. England at $2.50. Just to qualify for the next round, Mexico have been about $2.20 into $1.95. England out to $1.81. Perhaps Mexico good form related, perhaps related to Mexican fans letting flares off outside the England team hotel. Who knows? But lots of money for the Mexicans this morning.
Yeah, that was paying $1.01, by the way, I think. What else you got, Sammy, around the place?
Yeah, let's talk about this early game you boys were just talking about tomorrow morning. Portugal, a bit of money for them. They've been $4.20 to $4.10. The draw, nice and solid, $3.50. Spain, $1.89. To qualify for the next round, Portugal, $2.76. Spain, $1.43. I reckon that's a good bet. I reckon the Spaniards will be too classy for them. And a quick look at the outright markets, boys. France, $2.60. Rock solid favourites. Argentina, $5.50. Spain is $6.50. England are out to $10. I'm not really sure what's happened there. They've been drifting in the market the last couple of days. And Norway have basically taken Brazil's place in the market. They've been about 20s into 15s, walking past a few very sad Brazilian fans in Bondi now off to drown their sorrows, no doubt. Portugal, $15 as well.
They'll find a way, mate. They'll find a way. And there's got the Golden Boot market you can see on Sportsbet as well. It will be fantastic with Mbappe, Messi and Haaland on 7. Sam Phillips, have a great day, mate. Appreciate that update. All thanks to Sportsbet. We are off to our last break of the post-game show, but do return with us. We've got plenty more on the way. It's the Global Game Post-Match Wrap. Thanks to
Chances
Allianz.
are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Avoid injury time heartbreak on the cup with Tab. Place a correct score bet, and if you're correct at the 90-minute mark, we'll pay you out as a winner. Paid out before any injury time goals? Now that's something to shout about. Offer applies to correct score markets and single or same-game multi-bets placed online. T's and C's apply.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Say yes to proudly showing up for your country and then losing your dignity on the dance floor. It's the Australian way. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, I DD.
Head into Kia for great drive-away value across the entire range, including electric, hybrid, diesel and petrol models. Lock-in deals on the Kia Sportage Hybrid, now starting from $44,490 drive-away. Plus, take advantage of great finance offers through Kia Finance, all backed by Australia's first and still best 7-year warranty. Approved applicants only. Offer ends August 31. T's and C's, fees, charges and lending criteria apply. Hyundai Capital Australia Proprietary Limited. Australian credit licence 554051. Visit your local Kia dealership today.
Kia, movement that inspires.
For over a century, Cyclone has armed Australians with the strongest, most reliable garden tools. Trusted by trade professionals and home gardeners alike, Cyclone tools are engineered for superior performance in tough Aussie conditions. When you pick up a Cyclone product, you're holding a tool made to perform and made to endure. The #1 name for Australian garden tools, Cyclone Tools. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Mitre 10 and independent garden retailers.
This
World Cup, supersize your football experience with Sportsbet's Feed. Get inspiration and copy bets from other World Cup punters with a tap of a button. The Feed from Sportsbet. Conditions apply.
Chances are you're about to lose.
A legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. At Liquorland, we've been filling fridges and helping Aussies raise a glass for over 50 years. Cold, but cosy nights in. And summer sundowners, hosting the watch party. Or cooking for a full house, for the last minute dash on the way, or ordering your favourites from the couch. We'll bring the epic value and the legendary drinks. Liquorland, legendary. Choose to drink wise.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 pie. Pie, 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 and sauce.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
This World Cup, supersize your football experience with a Sportsbet same-game multi. With more markets and bigger odds, it's the fast and easy way to bet on the World Cup with Sportsbet. Conditions apply.
Chances are you're about to lose.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the Global Game.
Great to have your company on the post-game show. Paul Sebastiani alongside me, Adam Peacock, as we wrap up what we've just seen. If you're just joining us, you've missed an amazing set of circumstances in New York, New Jersey, with Norway beating Brazil 2-1. Brazil are out. Brazil is in mourning. Norway, they're going to get on their boats and do that Viking row all the way down to Miami for the quarterfinal in 6 days' time, Paulie. They were wonderful scenes, and it's the first time ever on Australian radio anyway. I think we've had a live call of a Viking row.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Speedy was really up and about for it. He was uttering the word row with plenty of gusto, and he was even doing the row. So our cameras here in the studio have well and truly picked him up. So he may very well get a run and go viral on the socials. But I'll tell you what, Norway, they clearly deserve to win. Dominated possession, and manager has made subs at half-time, and we were all querying whether or not it was due to fitness and injuries or whether it was tactical. And we did some digging, and it was clearly tactical, and it clearly worked. And this is the problem with sitting back, and Brazil will look back at that game and think, well, maybe we could have been on the ball a little more. They played 4 attacking players. Norway dominated the midfield, dominated the final third, and when you've got a player like Erling Haaland, chance after chance after chance, maths will tell you eventually he's going to score.
Yeah, they just didn't get the balance right. I mean, Bruno's a fantastic player. Casemiro's a fantastic player, but it just felt like they were a little easy to hold possession against. Like I did note in that second half that Vinny Jr. Was becoming detached with the rest of the defensive setup for Brazil because he just didn't want to work. It was hot, obviously, and he'd worked so hard. You want this guy to come alive with the ball. But, yeah, certainly they were a little easy to play through. And Haaland, if you're going to give him chances like he got, he only needs a couple, and a couple is all he needed this morning. Some spectacular finishing from Erling Haaland. And that, I'll tell you, that first goal, if you're a coach of junior players, that is how to get in on the blind side of your defender for a split second, and that's all you need, because that defender then loses where the ball is for a split second because he starts to worry about the man, and then he reappears and bang. Thanks very much. 1-0 Norway, was 2-0 after with that fantastic strike. Just quickly, Paulie, we've got some team news as well for England and Mexico, and some interesting team selections for Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, we do indeed. So we'll start with the English team. So Nico O'Reilly out at left back, Mark Guehi, Ezri Konsa, and Jarrell Quansah out at right back. Jordan Pickford, of course, in goal. Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson at the base of midfield. Anthony Gordon gets a start alongside Jude Bellingham. Bukayo Saka out on the right. Harry Kane, goes without saying, he starts for England. And then the Mexicans, Raul Rangel in goal. Jorge Sanchez, Cesar Montes, Johan Vasquez, and Jesus Gallardo as the back four. Gilberto Mora, the youngster, the teenager, is pulling the strings in midfield for Mexico as he has done the whole tournament. Eric Lira, Luis Romo, Roberto Alvarado, Raul Jimenez and Julian Quinones as the starting three. So interesting from Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, no, Marcus Rashford and Madueke, who is trusted so far this tournament. For now, though, let's get to some tab updates.
The 3 most important dates to put in your diary are for the green and gold at your local tab. Get your team together to watch our team at Tab live and loud on the big screen with personalised venue mode offers for every game on the Tab app. One place for all the cup action. Now that's something to shout about.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
An odds update brought to you by Tab. Chances are you're about to lose.
Avoid injury time heartbreak with Tab. And you would have avoided injury time heartbreak with Tab in that game between Brazil and Norway. Place a correct score bet, and if your bet is correct at 90 minutes, Tab will pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app for all the cup markets. Intriguing, Adam, the money has come for Mexico. Now, granted, we do and are likely to have a delayed kickoff, but given the fact that it is at Stadio Azteca, Mexico have got the home support into $3. The draw is also $3. England on the drift out to $2.55. So England still fancied to go through in normal time, but there has been a good push for Mexico at the head-to-head. We look ahead to the Iberian rivalry, of course, tomorrow morning, our game for broadcast on SEN, and with Tab, Portugal, $3.80, the draw $3.40, Spain, $1.90 with tab.com.au. And Adam, as you mentioned, the Belgians are blowing up. Balogun, he's in for the USA. He has had his red card suspended. $2.60 a piece for both Belgium and the USA in normal time. The draw at $3.40 in that particular fixture. And, of course, Argentina, well, they're fancied to go through against Egypt. $1.38 against Egypt, the draw $4.50, and the result for Egypt in that game at $8.50. And just quickly looking ahead to the futures markets, France, the $2.75 favourite to win the World Cup with Tab. Argentina, $5. Spain, $6.50, and England at $9. And the top goal scorer, it's going to be a tight race now between Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi and Erling Haaland. Kylian Mbappe, $1.90 favourite. Lionel Messi, $2.70. Now Erling Haaland with that brace, and the Norwegians progressing through to the quarters. The $5.50 third elect to be the top goal scorer in this 2026 World Cup. Avoid injury time heartbreak punters with Tab. Place a correct score bet, and if your bet is correct at 90 minutes, Tab will pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app for all the cup markets.
Brought to you by Tab, your destination for cup betting. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Avoid injury time heartbreak on the cup with Tab. Place a correct score bet, and if you're correct at the 90-minute mark, we'll pay you out as a winner. Paid out before any injury time goals? Now that's something to shout about. Offer applies to correct score markets and single or same-game multi-bets placed online. T's and C's apply.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
And Bozza is back after doing God's work on Breakfast Radio, spreading the gospel about what we've seen this morning. Boz, just your take on Mexico, England. Paul Sebastiani went through the lineups, but what's your gut feel about England's chances there?
Oh, I think they're going to win. I really do. It's going to be difficult for them, there's no doubt. There's a lot of people around the world, for whatever reason, who don't want England to win. That's understandable. It won't be easy. Obviously, we know about the hostility of the Mexicans, also about the altitude. There's no doubt about that. But there's enough talent, not only in that team, but especially on the bench for England to win. It's a huge test. But I tell you what, as much as I said before as well that Norway will be fancying themselves against the winner of this game in the quarterfinal. So will these two teams now. Big difference playing Norway from a psychological perspective than playing Brazil in the quarterfinal. So this is a big opportunity for both Mexico and England. I heard you talk about no Madueke for England and
Rashford.
And no Rashford. But look, they got Saka and Anthony Gordon. Just shows the depth of their squad.
Yeah.
You know what? Things aren't working by the second half. And we saw what Solbakken did, the Norwegian manager. And you know what? One of the players that he actually had on and took off at halftime, the wide man, Nusa, he was outstanding. But he took off Nusa and he took off Sorloth. And he brought on the two freshmen. So no, that might be the same thing going around. Substitutions are going to be very important.
Thanks, boss.
What are you putting the thumbs up for?
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
SEN, your home of cricket this summer with 15 tests live.
Powered by Signet AFL Power Banks. Good morning, I'm Heath Gardner with SEN News. Victoria Street in Richmond remains closed and a crime scene set up after a tobacco store was firebombed. Police say arsonists ram-raided the store just after 4 this morning, with witnesses reporting a resulting fireball. 11 other shops have been badly damaged. A pedestrian has been killed after he was hit by a car in Doncaster. It happened on Williamson's Road, with emergency services called to the scene just after midnight. The yet-to-be-identified man died at the scene and the driver is assisting police with their inquiries. The national auction clearance rate has again dropped below 50%, with Cotality data showing the rate hit 45% over the weekend. Recent interest rate hikes and the government's tax changes are being blamed, but on 9, Labor MP Josh Burns is confident the sector will recover.
Let's see how it goes over time, but I do think it is really important that the housing market needed something changed in it, because nobody was arguing how fantastic it was for first home buyers when the majority of young Australians were completely locked out of the housing market.
Peace talks between Iran and the US have been paused for a multi-day state funeral for the late Ayatollah that's seen mourners calling for the death of Donald Trump. 11 days after twin earthquakes rocked Venezuela, rescue efforts continue with the death toll approaching 3,000. And Anthony Albanese is in Fiji, where the PM will sign a long-awaited defence treaty, cementing Australia as Fiji's defence partner of choice. Coming up, sen.com.au sport.
All the big games called by all the big names. Your home of sport, SEN.
SEN Sport, thanks to TAB. Australia's women's cricketers are the T20 World Champions after beating England by 7 wickets in the World Cup final this morning. In Formula One, Charles Leclerc has taken out the British Grand Prix ahead of George Russell, Aussie Oscar Piastri finishing 11th. And Norway is through to the World Cup quarterfinals after a 2-1 win over Brazil.
The SEN app, download it today.